Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on
It's Tuesday.
So today's Wednesday?
I've been feeling
Wednesday?
like today's Wednesday. I think I'm just excited for AEW.
Oh, that's tomorrow night. You got to wait a few more hours. Are you getting involved? I mean, you're close. You're right up in the ring.
Maybe.
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 Maybe you can shout out your love for a wrestler.
We will have TNT champion Daniel Garcia on with Alan Styles today.
Today?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can listen to Alan Styles right here on Sacktown Sports 1140. You can catch us on the app. Hey, after the interview, we'll probably put that up on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere.
Like, subscribe. Bing. There you go. Good morning, Jason Ross, Christopher Lott hanging out this morning. You and I have both already heard from Carmichael Dave.
Yeah.
What was that about?
He told me at 5:57, oh, just a heads up, I'm not coming in today.
Yeah. We knew. I knew. I told you yesterday.
You told me.
Yeah. But Dave is in the chat.
So, hey, people, when you feel like you're out of the loop and like, hey, okay, wait, they're going on vacation now? That's also how I find out the guys are going on vacation.
Yeah, it was an interesting day for multiple reasons yesterday. Dave spent the back half of the show with pants on his head. Not sure if that's why he's out today, though I don't think it is. No, he's got a thing with Huddersfield Town today.
Patrick Stewart money.
It's big time Patrick Stewart money. I think he might be seeing P. Stew today.
How come I didn't get the invite?
I know this was
I am pretty sure I'm a bigger Patrick Stewart fan than Dave is.
We might have to have a debate, and I could be the judge, and you and Dave debate Patrick Stewart's merits between you two.
Because I said I'm a fan of Patrick Stewart in American Dad, and early on in his career, he played the social revolutionist Lenin in a movie. Yeah.
Okay. And Dave, really his origins are what, from Star Trek?
Dork.
Wow. So.
Oh, he's also in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes. Dave is already chiming in. There is no chance that Chris is a better fan of Patrick Stewart.
I've watched more things that he's in than Dave has.
Well, let's see. Point, counterpoint. We're going to have this debate at some point. So, yeah, Dave will be gone just for today. He will be back tomorrow. We also had a funny interaction, and I got a call when this all happened, like in real time, how this happened. So the show ended yesterday. It was a fun show, spirited show. Oh, my gosh. I just blanked on our guy. Was it Roger?
Yes.
Yeah, Roger. Roger called yesterday, was really worried about Dave's mental health. And
to be fair, we all are at some point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The bad thing was where he was catching us. We've all seen Dave way worse.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm worried about you. We're like, today? Nah, today's good. We're good today. But, you know, the back and forth that they had, it got a little bit edgy. Not too bad. Dave was telling him to go listen to Grandpa Radio. And Roger was continuously worried about Dave's kids being embarrassed because, I mean, why are you wearing pants on your head? You can't have this team affect you like this. Well, anyway, he called you back, right, Chris, and kind of said, you know what, Dave might be all right. Dave's okay. Dave's all right. Hey, let you know that I work at this place. What was it? To the Bay and Back Cheesecake or something?
To the Bay and Back Cheesecake.
Yeah.
.com.
So then we started looking that up. We're like, hey, this looks pretty good. Anyway, the show finishes. You and I both have an office that's kind of, I don't know, not that far from this studio, but we could oversee, we're upstairs, we could oversee the downstairs. And I saw someone coming in, trying to come in the front door. And I said, hey, who's that coming in? And I go, wouldn't that be funny if that's Roger? Because he had a bag with him. And then I saw his hat and it said GHS. I'm like, oh, he's talking about Grant High School. I go, oh my gosh, I think that might be him. He's talking to our receptionist up front. And I go, I think they're trying. I mean, again, I'm trying to read this through a window looking downstairs. I'm like, Chris, don't you think? He's like, it might be. You're trying to call Dave. We tell Dave. Anyway, it was him, and he brought cheesecake, and those guys took a picture, and now they're fast friends.
Oh, he was, man.
You went down there too, and I missed. I got a phone. I was going to go, and I got a phone call. I'm like, okay. And then by the time I finished, you guys were all
Roger
gone.
can come down anytime he wants because he's like, hey, Chris needs a raise for what he's done today and stuff like that. And
that's awesome.
Angelina let me in. She needs a raise.
So we are in full support of him.
Yes.
And he brought cheesecake. And then the funny thing is, Dave DoorDashed his food because he lost. I wouldn't even say he bet. He just said, hey, if the Kings beat Houston, I'll even DoorDash food as well. So we had that. And then we were thinking maybe trying that cheesecake yesterday. But he said, no, let's do it tomorrow. And right when he told you that, because I wasn't down there for that conversation, you came back up. I said, he's not going to be here tomorrow. You're like,
Classic Dave.
And then he's calling you today at 5:57 to tell you he's not going to be here today. So wait on the cheesecake. Oh, I ate it already.
Oh.
I ate it last night after the Kings game.
Good job.
That'd have been good. I shared it with Henry and Deuce and Anthony. Good. Now we will wait for that one until tomorrow. That's for sure. So Dave will be back with us tomorrow. But today, what could we talk about today? Only your Sacramento Kings, who are on crazy fire right now. This was fun. Another fun performance. The March Gauntlet has started. The Sacramento Kings have taken out the first two games. They have guaranteed a winning road trip. And one more game to go before Friday's showdown.
How about Alan Stiles?
Predicting 3-1 or better?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the bag. I mean, positive Allen is a thing. People were doubting the Kings. Not Allen. Kind of I think when people zig, Allen zags. I think that's what I'm learning. But he's on the right zag or zig right now.
He's on the zag.
He's on the zag.
He already zigged.
And then that's when we were zagging. And it's like, wait, oh no, Allen, you're wrong. And then now we start to zig, and then he zags.
Like, I think I'm a pretty positive fan. I was thinking like 2-2 would be cool.
I would have taken 2-2.
Yeah.
And if it would have been 2-2, I would have said beat Dallas. And probably Dallas was the most important game in the whole thing. Well, they got that one. Beating Utah you wanted just because of the way they were playing. And getting Houston was fantastic. So let's get greedy, Chris. Let's beat Denver. Let's get the sweep.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing is, like, and I know that people are out and people are injured and everything like that, but they haven't even been close.
Right. And they've dominated. We're going to talk about is the defense a thing? Is it a thing now? This is 4 straight games of pretty stellar performances.
Do the Kings have a rim protector?
We'll talk about Jonas Valanciunas. We will have a rewind today, I think.
Almost done, so.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
A lot of good feedback, by the way, Chris, from my personal text line and from others on the rewind yesterday.
Oh. I
think the personal touch of the callback on the audio of Dave and then some of the others. Another, just for your, I hear a lot about spark. I hear a lot about cleaning the glass. I mean, sometimes it's the little ones. Yesterday, just from a few mentions, a lot of fans of the chugga.
Oh, really?
Choo, choo, of the train moving up the standings. So you never know. We got the greatest hits.
Chicka. Toot.
I was more a fan of my order for
that one was mine by far. So
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
Money. I knew when I wrote that it was going to be fun. I didn't even think of that clip, and you've shown me. I know what that's from. You've shown me that before. But the setup was, for Dave to say, I'll buy breakfast. And then it's like, all right, Chris, what do you want to eat? Not knowing what you would play, that was even better. That was perfect. The absolute perfect drop. That was fun. So we will have rewind a little bit later in the show. We'll have all our regular staples leading off coming up. We will have 3 for Madness. We will recap and look back at how we did on our predictions with a recap of 3 in the Key, who's hot, who's not, and we'll wrap all things up later in the show with Alan Stiles, little crosstalk and celebrity birthdays, and another reminder at 7:45, a chance to win $100 courtesy of Jiffy Lube if you can identify the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. There's probably a lot of the game, but there's one play in specific that G-Man mentioned yesterday. If you heard it right here on Sacktown Sports, you're home of the Kings, and you're the first one to call in and identify that at 7:45, you will be a winner of our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. So, you go through pockets of the season. There's good, there's bad, there's down times, and you think about this year specifically. My goodness, what a whirlwind it has been. It feels like multiple seasons in one, and now that they've played 60 games, again, I said this the other day, I was looking back at the preseason predictions. I think this was ESPN. It was ESPN. And the Sacramento Kings were picked to finish 10th in the West. Some of the teams that are above them were supposed to be there. Some others aren't. But if you would have told me, like right now, they'd be in 8th, basically in a virtual tie for 7th, but 8th on the tiebreaker, in a year where they fired Mike Brown, traded De'Aaron Fox, that's pretty amazing. It really is. And as the standings continue to shake out, it sure looks like the top 10 are going to kind of be set. I mean, I think we've got the 10 now. Dallas will be interesting to watch with the injury to Kyrie and get the latest. I was sick to my stomach on that one. It was such a weird play too, because when he went down, when you see it live, you saw him go down and then he's laying down. And it was Deuce, Henry, and I here in the studio watching the game and listening to G-Man said, "Oh no, okay, I think he's okay." And he kind of rolled, he was on his stomach and he kind of looked up at the camera and was kind of laughing. I'm like, okay, he's just getting himself together. Wait, he may not be okay. And then they went to commercial when they came back and they showed that hyperextend. I was like, oh man, that didn't look good. Credit to him for staying in the game to shoot the free throws. That was ugly. And I hope everything is okay with him. But Dallas is just snake bit right now. All their injuries. The Kings have a pretty significant injury in Domantas Sabonis, but they won without him. Thanks to Jonas Valanciunas and others, and really a quality win that we're going to spend a lot of time talking about today. So, the stage is set. Jason Ross, Christopher Law here. Dave is back with us tomorrow, though. You saw him early in the morning. He's on the chat before he heads to his situation here today in
Stewart money
in SoCal. I'm wearing the UCLA. This is a shout out to Avery, the next school she's going to get into. We got Chapman in the bag. Chris has already started a GoFundMe for Dave. Where are we at? What's our update?
Oh man, I'm out of cash.
All right, it's at 0, but we started it. So we're working on it. Maybe if Dave admits that Chris is a bigger fan of Patrick Stewart, there might suddenly be more money in that GoFundMe account for Chapman University. But got the Bruins on, rooting for Avery there. Even though I think, kind of knowing Chris, I think you want her to go to Chapman, don't you?
Chapman or Pepperdine?
Just to make it the highest stakes possible. Oh, my goodness. All right, break time for us. You can reach us at 916-339-1140 on the text line, on the phone lines, 1-800-920-1140, certainly on the chat. And while you are here, like, subscribe, sit back, enjoy, have some fun. It's a winning Kings day that we'll discuss with Leading Off next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned, and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google, and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
All right, before we get to cut number 1, this is very important from the chat group. AB says, Chris is becoming my favorite person on the show. Love Dave and Jason, but Verlad cracks me up every day. Uh-oh. Chris doesn't like too much attention. He likes some, but not too much. Let's be careful here, AB. All right, let's get to cut number 1.
The final 7 seconds ticking away. For the 4th time this year, the Kings in wire-to-wire fashion have gotten a victory on a night where the opponent never had the lead. The Kings led this one by as many as 32. They improved their record to 32-28. They gain a game on Dallas. So Sacramento will be in that number 9 spot and still close quarters in the scramble for playoff and play-in opportunities in the Western Conference. Final score in this one is 122-98.
Domination by your Sacramento Kings, as you heard called there by the great G-Man, Gary Gerald. So far, so good on this road trip. You just want to keep things rolling. You know there'll be some more bumps in the road. The Kings have reached 60 games in. I mean, this thing is cruising right along. 22 to go. It was a pretty good night. I mean, first and foremost for the Kings, if you need to win to keep things going in the standings. They already had the tiebreaker on Dallas, but getting the win picks up a full game on them. Like I said, had the Warriors lost last night, which obviously they did not. They were the only other team kind of in that mix playing. But had the Warriors lost last night, the Kings would have been in a 3-way tie. They would have been in a tie with the Clippers for the 6-7 spot, and the Clippers, based on the tiebreaker, would have gone ahead. Warriors do play tonight, and they play in New York against the Knicks. The Clippers play tonight, and that's another game to monitor as the Clippers are at the Suns. That's kind of a which one do you want if you're a Kings fan? I personally believe the Suns can't do it. Now, I know they physically can based on games left, but they're 5 games below 500. They have not played great basketball. They started, I want to say, 8-1. They were also like 23-20 maybe. So they're 5-13, I think, in their last 18. They haven't been consistently good for the longer part of the season. So if you're a Kings, well, you're likely a Kings fan if you're listening, but let's assume from the Kings perspective tonight, if the Warriors lose to the Knicks and the Clippers lose to the Suns, when we start the show tomorrow, the Kings could be, does Minnesota play? Let me double check on the T-Wolves. The T-Wolves. So the T-Wolves host the Sixers. So you also want the Sixers to beat the T-Wolves. If those 3 things happen, now we're working at a 3-game combination, but if all 3 of those things happen at this time tomorrow to begin the show, we'll be talking about the 6 seed Sacramento Kings. How about that? So, look, you win, you move up the standings. That's what's happened here. The Kings have a 4-game winning streak. Only team hotter in the Western Conference. OKC has 4 in a row. The Lakers have 6 in a row. The Kings getting that win yesterday. I love it. Their 17th road win. You look at teams with more road wins than that in the West, Denver and OKC. That's it, with more. There's a couple others with 17. You win on the road, that's good. The Kings' home record is just okay, but they got an opportunity coming up with a 7-game homestand. That's really, really difficult. But to me, the things to like right now about your Sacramento Kings, the balanced attack. The defense has been much better. It's not relying on Fox. It's not relying on Sabonis, right? It's LaVine and Murray and Keon and Monk. It's all the way down the line. Valanciunas right now. And I think when Sabonis comes back, they were kind of getting that already. Sabonis actually was probably in his slowest pocket of games as a King. 3 straight games without a double-double. One of them obviously played a minute. But it doesn't seem like it's super reliant on one player. And I think that makes you dangerous, especially when you have multiple players playing better. There is no doubt, without hesitation, without reservation, the bench is clearly substantially better and making an impact on this team. And so that's the way this group, the way they're constructed, has to win. It's got to be a group effort. I like the closers of DeRozan and LaVine. Constant offense throughout the game. Hopefully an improved defense. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit later. This is 4 good games in a row of defensive numbers. Now, part of it was playing Charlotte and Utah. That's in fairness. Last night, playing a depleted Dallas team. You got to be fair in this. And then Houston, though, they were fully loaded, and that was a really good defensive performance. So maybe there's more to it, and we're going to give some of these numbers on what they've been lately defensively, and a lot of the numbers since Doug Christie took over, even though Mike Brown was really trying to implement some of this stuff. But maybe it's a combination of Doug's voice with roster construction a little bit different, but certainly some of the numbers have been better. So we'll get into that throughout the show. But the Kings getting the win last night, that was impressive. Let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Jones is on LaVine straight away. Throws to the left wing to DeRozan. Enters now to Valanciunas. Valanciunas against Exum and Kessler Edwards. To Deebo. Attacks the paint. Swings it out. Baseline J on the way from Valanciunas is good. Good patience and good spacing by the Kings on that possession to make it a 6-point lead at 13-7.
We might have had a turnover there. That was a Valanciunas cut. Cut number 2 was Zach LaVine winning Western Conference Player of the Week. Well, anyway, we will highlight Valanciunas and we will highlight Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, what a week for him. I was a little surprised, to be honest, when the news came out yesterday that he was named Western Conference Player of the Week, but he got the job done. Part of that is like anything we always say, if you win, you will get acknowledged. Let's look at the Kings 2 years ago when they got all the way to the 3 seed. You got the Coach of the Year, Mike Brown. De'Aaron and Domas both made all NBA. You had Mike Brown, you had Monty McNair winning GM Executive of the Year. You had De'Aaron Fox winning Clutch Player of the Year. So you win, you get rewarded. The Kings had a good week. And Zach LaVine and some of his numbers last week, and really here lately, he's starting to find his groove. We will talk about that as the show goes on, and we'll hear from Zach LaVine. But it's nice to see him kind of coming into form for the Sacramento Kings and certainly playing much better basketball for him and collectively as the team. So, like I said, you win, you get acknowledged, you get a little love from those around the league. All right, let's get to cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
Well, cut number 3 is from football, and Hall of Fame coach Jimmy Johnson is calling it quits. He is retiring from Fox Sports. He has done. I didn't realize how long Jimmy Johnson had been doing this, but he really has for a long, long time, and he's been really instrumental just overall in the sport as he retires from Fox Sports. And Jimmy Johnson, I didn't realize was working at the network for 31 years. So after his Hall of Fame career in college, really, and the NFL, and a long time working with Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, Kurt Menefee, the whole crew there. And, you know, I don't know where a lot of you guys stand on halftime shows for football, pregame shows, postgame shows, but I know based on numbers, we're all watching football on a regular basis. For me, I basically just get to the 10 o'clock window, and once it starts, Red Zone or Niners and Raiders if they're on locally. Really less Raiders now just because of them moving to Vegas, but Niners always check out their full game. And that's a byproduct. A lot of those games are on Fox, and you'll naturally see more so halftime cuts and maybe some post game for me. But a lot of you watch the pre-games as well, and Jimmy Johnson has just been kind of a legend for the sport, an icon in the sport, and at the age of 81, said 31 years was enough. And so Jimmy Johnson doing amazing work there for a long, long time. And just the cohesiveness that Fox has had with that group, really with Howie, Terry, Jimmy. I know they had James Brown before, but now Kurt Menefee for years. That group, that core group has been together for a long, long time. So congrats to him on their success and, kind of picking his time to say when he's done. And so Jimmy Johnson stepping down as a broadcaster with Fox, the Hall of Fame coach, retiring from his football duties. All right, when we come back, we will start to dig into more of the nuts and bolts of this Kings victory and where Sacramento is in the standings. Really, it's a Kings-heavy show. You can hit us up on the text line, like I said, 916-339-1140 on the phone lines, 1-800-920-1140 in the chat. We always encourage you guys, and thank you, regulars and diehards from the chat group, being there on a day-to-day basis. When we come back, we'll listen back to how the Kings got it done over the Mavericks, and that is next.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
My wife was like, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to bring the kids. And I was like, whose kids?
Jim Gaffigan. Everything is wonderful.
I spent the entire time applying and reapplying sunscreen, which thankfully makes my skin whiter.
Jim Gaffigan. A night of all new material. Saturday, March 29th. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
One ticket, 2 huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Seth Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Seth Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Seth's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Like that, like you heard there on the rejoin, call or text. First text of the day. Yo, 1140. Yo. We're in communication. We're going back and forth. Jason Ross, Christopher Lard, Carmichael Dave is back with us tomorrow. So Sacramento and the Kings headed to Dallas yesterday. Sometimes matchups have been good for the Kings. This one, for whatever reason, has, and a couple of things we got to keep in mind here. Obviously, the last time they played Dallas, they did not have Luka. This time they're playing Dallas. Dallas, when the Kings played Dallas the last time, Daniel Gafford got hurt in the game, has not returned. They did have Derek Lively, but since he has gotten hurt, they traded for Luka, or traded for Anthony Davis, He is out. PJ Washington, who has hurt the Kings in the past, specifically when he was in Charlotte, he was out. And then they had two more injuries in game, one being Kyrie Irving. So, look, at that point, you have to capitalize on that. And the Kings did just that. And look, the league doesn't stop. It doesn't pause. It doesn't wait. It doesn't feel sorry for you. You have to take advantage of the things that are put in front of you like this. It would have been a bad loss. Look, Dallas needed the game equally as badly as the Kings. As much as we laid out everything in Sacramento's perspective, what this would mean for the Kings to get a season sweep, to pick up a full game on the Mavs, to keep this momentum going. Dallas was in that same spot. Look, beat the Kings, get this thing back on track, move ahead of Sacramento. You don't have the season series, but, keep things pushing. And just every game they can win until Anthony Davis comes back. And you can look, that trade they made is obviously a gut punch to the fan base and maybe to some extent to the organization. But if you go back to the day after they made the trade, Luka's still out, hasn't played a game for the Lakers. AD comes in, and for a half, he was amazing. And you're going, well, you can see how this will help this team in the very short term. Long term, it's going to be tough to see Luka as a Laker for a long time. But instead, AD goes down in that same game. Luka comes back. Lakers are thriving, and Dallas is scratching their head trying to figure out where they're going from here. But with all that said, let's kind of listen back to how this one all played out. Remember, the Kings were playing without Domantas Sabonis, beginning that at least a week after that hamstring injury. He will be reevaluated about next Monday or so for the Kings. And so Jonas Valanciunas got his first start as a Sacramento King and did some pretty good things for the Kings.
Jones is on LaVine straight away. Throws to the left wing to Rosen. Enters now to Valanciunas. Valanciunas against Exum and Kessler-Edwards. To Deebo. Attacks the paint. Swings it out. Baseline J on the way from Valanciunas is good. Good patience and good spacing by the Kings on that possession to make it a 6-point lead at 13-7.
Yeah, final numbers for Valanciunas. Not his most efficient day, but 14 points, 9 boards, filling in for Sabonis. And I thought the Kings, personally, talking about this last night with Henry in our pre-half and post, but really more of the post game, he was okay with the amount of times they went inside. The Kings had advantages there, but I thought they forced that issue just a little bit. But as the game went along, they started to get that balance that I think they're coveting, and then mixed and matched, I thought, a little bit better. But anyway, it was still good to see them try to take advantage of the situation they had with Powell starting, just not a very big Dallas team, and Valanciunas is just a monster of a man, and the Kings capitalized on that. All right, more from the first quarter. You hated to see this for the Dallas Mavericks.
Could be Kyrie Irving. It is Kyrie who's underneath the basket. I did not see it, and I apologize for not catching what may have happened there, but he is still on the floor, and obviously great concern for the Mavericks as their number one scorer, who averages 25 a game, is for the moment on the floor and receiving attention from the Mavericks training staff. He went down holding, as we look at a replay, holding onto his left knee. So he's going to try to shoot the free throw. MVP chant in support of Kyrie Irving here as he gets the ball now in his hands. Eyes the rim. Takes 3 bounces, spins that ball one more time, and here's the launch, and he scores it cleanly. It's 23-17. I mentioned he's a 92% free throw shooter this season. So he is ready now for the release on the second one, and he gets them both.
Yeah, I commend Kyrie for that. That was a really tough situation to watch. And then ironically after that, I think it was the trainer / security was trying to get out and help him, right away, but he got on the floor too quickly. Dallas got a technical for that. But Kyrie was done. He was done for the night. We don't have an update just as of yet as to the severity of that. Certainly didn't look good in unmedical trained eye, but just watching it, you go, man, I don't like the look of that. You could tell athletes always know he didn't like the look nor the feel of it. So certainly thinking good wishes for Kyrie Irving, but he missed the rest of the game. And so now it's time for the Kings to go. Now it's time for the Kings to try to take advantage of that. We mentioned the Western Conference Player of the Week, Zach LaVine, got it going.
Grabbed by Keegan Murray. Hustles across the midcourt line. Gives now to LaVine on the right wing for three, and he nails the triple. Boy, he just stepped into that and knocked it down very quickly. Markelle Fultz was the one who created the pass. Markelle in the game for the first time for Doug Christie and the Kings.
All right, LaVine ends up leading the Kings in scoring. He had 22 in that balanced attack, all five starters in double figures. Now, the byproduct of this for Dallas, they were doing a decent enough job in the first half of staying in the game. They had signed Kai Jones to a 10-day contract. He was forced to play, and he had a career high by halftime against the Kings.
Drives it right side of the paint, couple of up fakes, feeds it out to LaRavie, but right into the hands of Spencer Dinwiddie. Turnover, and in transition, Kai Jones runs to the lap and scores, and Doug Christie calls timeout.
All right, so Sacramento then trying to extend their lead a little bit at least before halftime, and I thought Keegan in the first half was very, very aggressive.
Malik Monk enters now to Trey Lyles, got room to work in the low post, spins, feeds it out to Keegan, open for the spray three, and he hits the triple. Kings have their biggest lead of the ball game, up a dozen at 60-48.
All right, lead was 10 at the half. Then we go to the third quarter. This is where the game was decided. Sacramento really put it into overdrive, ended the game with a strong surge to start the second half in the third quarter. Defense leading to offense for the Kings.
Here's a run by Exum, rejected down inside, grabbed by Monk, feeds Valanciunas, quickly ahead to DeRozan, into the front court now, surveying the floor, throws a bullet to an uncovered Malik for three, and he drains the three on the left wing. 68-54, that's the biggest lead of the night for Sacramento.
Yeah, and the Kings were just getting started. Really, we mentioned the balanced attack, a lot of guys contributing. The bench came in and kept this thing rolling for Doug Christie and crew.
Monk creeping forward now, screen from Trey Lyles, drives, reaches with the left hand, it's too strong. Lyles, offensive rebound, out to LaRavia for three. Jake LaRavia knocks down the triple. Sacramento has now made 12 of 24 three-pointers tonight. 92-64 as a result.
Yeah, the blitz was 25-6 to start the third quarter, and it was a wrap. It was over. Dallas just didn't have the weapons to make the comeback. Kings were feeling good, and they were able to spread it out, get a lot of guys in, get a comfortable win, and here's how it all wrapped up in Dallas. And it's not firing. Here we go. Here's how it wrapped up in Dallas.
The final 7 seconds ticking away. For the fourth time this year, the Kings in wire-to-wire fashion have gotten a victory on a night where the opponent never had the lead. The Kings led this one by as many as 32. They improved their record to 32-28. They gain a game on Dallas. So Sacramento will be in that number 9 spot and still close quarters in the scramble for playoff and play-in opportunities in the Western Conference. Final score in this one is 122-98.
Yeah, and by the end of the night, they end up in 8th, so they leapfrog Dallas and Minnesota just by percentage points. Full game lead on Dallas, tied with the Clippers and T-Wolves, but by percentage points, they're ahead of Minnesota. And by tiebreaker, they're behind the Clippers, and they're just a half game behind the Golden State Warriors. You look even above that. What are they? 4.5 behind Houston. If they somehow, some way can stay hot and catch them, they would have the tiebreaker on them. So this is amazing the way it's laid out. You got OKC by themselves, clearly the number 1 seed. Then 2 through 5 separated by 2 games, and 6 through 10 separated by a game and a half. Behind Dallas, there's a little cushion there with Phoenix and Portland now, kind of putting a little bit pressure on the back end of that. But, now we wait and see about the injury status for Kyrie Irving. And Dallas just, man, think about, we talk about how things quickly changed for the Kings. To start the year, you had DeRozan. I still remember being at the Summer League, the California Classic, the news about DeRozan signing, him coming out, and just the excitement there. Mike Brown gets his extension. You keep Malik Monk. There's just a lot of things to be excited about. And then Mike Brown is now gone. You've traded De'Aaron Fox. Kevin Huerter's no longer on the team. The people they've added, it's just a completely different feel. Think about Dallas. They made the finals a year ago. They're coached. It's much like Doug Christie coaching this team. It's a former King coaching this team in this community. Well, Jason Kidd, a former Mav, coaching the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals. You got Luka, you got Kyrie, you added PJ Washington last year, Gafford, and you get Clay in the offseason, and you're thinking, man, what kind of year are we going to have? And then injuries and the trade of Luka, and now the second injury here, a big injury to Kyrie Irving. And they just got to be wondering what is going on with our organization. So things change quickly in the league. We all should know that by now. And right now they've changed in the positive direction for the Sacramento Kings. Much more on the Kings to come, including the completion of that 3-game sweep. We'll have a conversation with post-game G-Man and Malik Monk coming up at 7. But when we come back, we didn't get much time into this yesterday. Just want to spend one more quick segment on the NFL and really more on the 49ers and their moves. They're talking about Brandon Ayuk, but they did already move Deebo Samuel. He goes to the Commanders, the impact on that for them as they had a great playoff run this year, and also how this will impact the 49ers. We'll do all that when we come back here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
On Wednesday, March 5th, Sacramento is where the best wrestle as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite and Collision. 2 of professional wrestling's biggest shows all in one night. Be there live as AEW returns to Sacramento for the first time in 2 years for the final 2 shows before AEW Revolution.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite and Collision from Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. Wednesday, March 5th. Tickets on sale now starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx saved you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Chris, you are absolutely giddy about AEW tomorrow night, aren't you? What's the best part about it? What going in? It hasn't happened yet. What are you most excited for?
Oh man, like I just love. No matter what it is, I like live wrestling.
Yeah,
like I have gone and seen wrestling at Golden One. I've seen them at Levi's Stadium. Gone to Mexico Arena. I also have seen wrestling in the parking lot at the Oakland Coliseum. So.
A lot of times, your fandom started when you were a kid, correct?
Yeah, it's one of those things.
But you're a bigger fan now, almost.
Oh yeah. Well, it's weird because I don't remember my first wrestling show that I've seen because like all my cousins were older than me, so I was just doing whatever they were doing. So that was just like constantly around. And it's cool that it's going to be at Memorial Auditorium because all my older uncles and aunts would talk about seeing wrestling shows there or wrestling shows at Fox 40 and stuff like that. It's like, wow, that's really cool.
What happened to you as a ref in wrestling?
Got a job on the weekends.
Oh,
yeah.
Was that fun?
Oh, it was really fun.
Because you're part of it. You're part of
it.
You're part of it. That'll be fun tomorrow night for you. I know you're going to love that. That is for sure. We continue here. Jason Ross, Chris Verlaud, Carmichael Dave is back with us tomorrow. Not sure if side effects of wearing pants on his head, but good sport yesterday. Did you enjoy that look of Dave wearing pants on his head?
The one pair of pants, like he didn't look bad.
I know. It was kind of like he had it wrapped up, tucked into his double long sleeve shirts. And I think pre-show you shook Dave. It's tough to, but you got him, like with your comment about his outfit.
Oh, yeah.
I think you got him. And then just the rest of the day, he was just. And then once we had the rewind that pointed out what he had said he would do, and he's like, "Oh, remind me." I'm like, "Oh no, we've got this. I've got pants here. Don't worry." And then we made him pay for the breakfast. Yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day for you and I, that's for sure. But Dave will be back with us tomorrow. We appreciate all of you guys checking in here today. I like our text line too. One of the hardest thing to do is to look at this team objectively. It sure seems like this team is deeper than I can remember. Conversely, the Mavericks were so thin after Kyrie went down. Their best player was Kai Jones, who they signed yesterday. That's Jeff. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then Alan asks, are those pants going to Goodwill now? No, but Dave asked the question yesterday. He said, hey, no offense, but will you take these home and wash them? And I'm like, I'm not sure. My wife's like, we're washing the pants. We are washing the pants. So there you go. All right. I just wanted to get one quick segment on the 49ers and the news they made over the weekend in dealing and trading this guy, because he was a pretty nice 49er.
Side of Brandon Ayuk right, Kittle inside of Jawan Jennings left, and McCaffrey goes in motion, that bumper motion out right. Blitz from Bobby Wagner, they pick it up. Deep shot, Brock Purdy's going downfield for Deebo! Touchdown! San Francisco!
Deebo Samuel on a burner post, and Brock Purdy just does a great job.
Well, Deebo was a good 49er. He really was. There's some ups and downs like every player has, but I always appreciated his versatility. There was that weird window where, he was kind of holding out, didn't really want to be utilized as much as he was as a running back. But his skill is as a receiver, as a yards after catch guy, as a guy that you could put in the backfield, you could do fly sweeps with, and he had that offense in a way where when you had a healthy McCaffrey with Deebo, Kittle, Ayuk, Purdy, or whoever really was quarterback, and enough time to protect in Kyle Shanahan's scheme, that's when the Niners were humming. And so, I think San Francisco in this case, by dealing him for a 5th rounder to the Commanders, for Washington's sake, I get why they're doing it. Terry McLaurin was still their number one weapon. They had other guys that could do it. But I could see them trying to sprinkle in Deebo, with Cliff Kingsbury calling the shots there, and he's a pretty creative play caller in the same type of way. I mean, if you look at Deebo's best year statistically in the 49ers system, it definitely was 2021, played 16 games, 77 catches, 1,405 yards. 6 of those were for touchdowns of those catches. And then he also ran 59 times for 365 and 8 touchdowns. So, he was responsible for 14 touchdowns that year, was truly a dual threat. And that's how I think the Commanders would like to utilize him. If you're the 49ers, you're going, Deebo, we love you. We thank you. You did a lot of great production for us. But he's also just turned 29. He's not done, but he's getting closer to that part of his career. And so now if you're the 49ers, it is part of the sport. It's moving on, whether you maybe moved a year ahead before, the fall off happened. Who knows if that's kind of the thought process behind some of this. But now it's opportunity for, obviously, the draft pick a year ago, and Ricky Pearsall. Jawan Jennings has always been a nice kind of feeling like 3rd or 4th option in the past, but there were games where he looked like option number 1, certainly as the injuries hit the team last year. Ayuk, who they're still looking at potentially moving. You get a healthy McCaffrey and Kittle, that's still some of your best receiving weapons anyway. And so now, probably via draft, via free agency, via some other things, the 49ers will look to address that. But, this team, as we knew it as a Super Bowl team a couple of different times with consistent play from a lot of the mainstays, it's constantly changing. And if you're going to stay at the top of your game, that's where John Lynch has to be good. And the one thing about football, it's so different than the NBA. A guy like Deebo Samuel can have all the credentials and it's really been a good professional. Gets traded for a 5th round pick. But draft picks are gold. That's the way it works in the NFL. And the Niners drafted really well last year. The impact that they got in the players that they added, they had a good draft. You got to back it up with another good draft, good offseason. And I do think they can return to the top form that they've been. It's possible. But again, I think it's really paramount in the offseason. So kind of step number 1 of their moves in the offseason, moving on from Deebo Samuel. All right, just want to spend a quick moment, a quick thought. We didn't really get much into that yesterday. But when we come back, we're right back into the Sacramento Kings, where they are, where they could be going. Things are good for the Kings right now. After another win in Dallas, they complete their 3rd straight season sweep of a team with their 4th win in a row. We'll talk about that, and we'll hear G-Man's conversation postgame with Malik Monk. That's coming your way next, right here on Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a 2-hand clutch makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Well, I'm a proud homeowner and a proud someone proud that's so proud to be tied with the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. This is March now, and Overhead Door Company of Sacramento continues their specials coming your way. How about $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener? Now, we got our brand new doors. We're almost coming up on 2 weeks, and it's still kind of that giddy feeling of having the new doors at your house. Every time I pull up into the driveway, the look is amazing. These are doors we chose. They installed them. It was incredible, really, to watch that process. But to have a new garage door isn't, these aren't purchases you do all the time, but when you do it, you are thoroughly pleased. And I'm so glad we did. We were longtime homeowners in the same house for 20 plus years now. And I had a garage door, 2 garage doors split, like 2 single car garage doors. And I literally had a lock on it because it wasn't automated, didn't have a push button, and had to unlock it, lift up the handle to open the garage door to go in. All things that, yes, we can do, but why not have your life a little bit easier? For us, it is. Now we push a button, garage door rolls open. There's a keypad outside. I can open it from the app. I have the versatility here. And then just the way it looks, windows at the top, it's a fresh, updated look for our house, and it's awesome. You can do the same because the Overhead Door Company has done this for 70 plus years in our region. They're amazing at their work, and it's not just residential, it's commercial as well, but also maybe just a little tune-up, some fixes to your garage door. They do all of this, and they do it very, very well. You can check out their showroom and see what they have to offer. Go to their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Want to have enough money for retirement
and travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Spring is in the air, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, a huge spring savings for you today. Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
One ticket, 2 huge shows.
The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too.
2 shows.
One massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show, plus the Big RV Show, March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
The final 7 seconds ticking away. For the 4th time this year, the Kings in wire-to-wire fashion have gotten a victory on a night where the opponent never had the lead. The Kings led this one by as many as 32. They improved their record to 32-28. They gain a game on Dallas. So Sacramento will be in that number 9 spot and still close quarters in the scramble for playoff and play-in opportunities in the Western Conference. Final score in this one is 122-98.
That was the G-Man last night. Impressive performance by your Sacramento Kings. Almost want to do a little roll call here for everybody out there, the faithful Kings fans. And it's okay if you're not all in. You don't have to be. We try to do that on this show where we say, look, we're not going to tell you how to fan. They've won 4 in a row. This is a better stretch. They have their faults. This is not a perfect team. No one's suggesting, hey, print your championship finals, playoff tickets here. But we're in a good spot. We've seen better basketball. I've tried to say this as clearly as I can, at least my opinion of this season. I really feel like this year has had 3 different versions of the Sacramento Kings. And I think when you look at the first part, that was with the team. That was the way it was constructed to begin the year and coached by Mike Brown. And if you take that to its limit, when they dismissed Mike Brown from his coaching duties, the Sacramento Kings were 13-18 after just a unthinkable loss to Detroit. Not that losing Detroit is bad. It's in the way they lost, how many games they lost in a row. That game was over. Should have been a win. They gave that one away. So they were 13-18. Then I think the next stretch of the season is Doug Christie taking over up until the trade of De'Aaron Fox, because that is its own entity. So remember, the Kings were 13-18. And then when they traded De'Aaron Fox, the last game he played, they were at Oklahoma City. They lost 144-110, and the Kings were 24-24. So you have the Kings in that stretch at 11-6. And then since that stretch of basketball, I think you take this is now the final version of the 2024-2025 Kings. And they are now 32-28, currently in 8th in the West. And that group is 8-4. So what I like about what they have right now is a team that's trying to do this as a team, as a collection, as a starting five that needs help and is getting production and help from its bench. It's a little bit more well-rounded. It's not perfect. I still think there could be some better point guard play. Malik was much better as the distributor and facilitator when Fox was here than he's been, though last night I love that he had 0 turnovers, and we're going to hear from Malik Monk here in a moment. They still have some...
Did you happen to see Malik's talking with a fan on Twitter last night?
No.
Someone
a good back and forth?
Someone just put something to the effect of, I don't see it in front of me, but it's to the gist of, hey, if Malik doesn't have any turnovers tonight, I'm going to buy a Malik Monk jersey. And then after the game, Monk replied, better get that jersey.
Oh, I love Malik. He's one of my favorite Kings for multiple reasons. I like to watch him play. I mean, there's a little bit of risk reward with him, but I just think he's hilarious.
Yes, he's hilarious.
I think he would be a fun teammate. You're going to hear it coming up here. G-Man and Malik have a really fun conversation post-game last night. But so that's it. I would like to hear from Kings fans.
He's pretty dry, too.
He is. What you think, what your current kind of state of the Kings feel is, right? They've played 60 games, 22 to go. And again, I probably, if history has any, track record for us on the way the last 22 will go, we'll have our ups and downs. There'll be moments where like, I'm totally in. This team is going to finish as the 5 seed to, I don't even know if they're going to make it. I hate the way they're playing. They're going to finish 12th. We're back in the lottery. That might be the ups and downs of how Kings fans feel. And that's probably normal. That's a little bit of what this team has been. There are a few games above 500, but I think if you look at the kind of the extended Doug Christie run here, remember when he started, they were 5 below 500. Now they're 4 above. So that stretch is pretty significant, what he's been able to do. So you want to weigh in, you can. 1-800-920-1140, 339-1140, certainly on the text line and the YouTube chats. We appreciate all of you guys in there. We had a lot of conversation going on for a while. I think Keegan Murray versus Jaren Jackson Jr., that seemed to be what I was picking up over there. So lots of things going on. We appreciate you. And if you are here on the YouTube, thank you. We say hello. We appreciate you being there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and tell a friend, right? Why don't you do that? All right. Before we hear Malik Monk with the G-Man, let's check in with one of our faves, one of our regulars. It's Steven. Good morning, Steven.
Oh, man, that was quick. Good morning, Jason. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well, dude. So I unloaded. You had 2 single solid one-piece metal doors?
Yeah. I had to literally, and I mean, again, what year is this? I had to open the door by hand, lift them up. They just pulled up. They didn't roll up. And as you know, as a worker now at Overhead Door, I saw your penmanship. I looked at it again the other day. I was talking about you with my wife. I said, look, Steven wrote right here. It says Ross right there. You did it. So
literally.
Yeah. And so now they roll up and they look great.
Because I went to unload and throw away a couple of doors, and I kind of was looking at it and I assessed it, and I was like, wait, 2 single doors about this size. These did not come from Jason's house. And then I asked, and sure enough, they came. Dude, what an upgrade.
Yes.
Those are ancient. Those are probably older than me, and I'm 36.
Yeah, they might even, they're probably worth nothing, but sometimes antiques or whatever, they age well. I don't know if those aged well, but yeah, those are dinosaurs.
Well, hey, nice upgrade, buddy. Nice upgrade. Dude, Malik is great, dude. When he was talking, I think it was with G-Man. He was like, "Hey, what's up, G-Man?" Yes. Coming across all just really nice and loose and laxed, in a really good mood because he knew that he didn't turn the ball over, and that was a big point of emphasis. And he said, "Look, hey, G-Man, look, I didn't turn the ball over. That was all on me." He takes responsibility. He's a true adult in that room. Honestly, as fun as he is. He takes responsibility and he owns up to his own mistakes, and he's not afraid to admit it either. Like, dude, I messed up. I've been turning the ball over, and I've been a little floppy and a little sloppy with the ball a little bit, trying to be too cute. It's been great. Now, as far as like, this is a little bit above your grade, but I know some of the other callers will agree. This is kind of like a reference to like Dragon Ball Z. Is this team in its final form? Is this what we will see? Is this the energy that we are going to get throughout the remainder of the year? Because Zach has been really looking extremely comfortable in this lineup. He's been starting to put it up and letting it fly. His vision, his passes has been great. I have not been necessarily watching the games to see the stuff that isn't, called by the G-Man, but it's just it feels really good right now, and especially with Valanciunas stepping up. Who would have ever thought that we would miss Sabonis for the seventh game of his Kings tenure? And Valanciunas is he's just a beefcake, dude. He's 6'11", pushing 290. You're not getting through him. So I mean, great signing there as far as like getting that backup, and it was really clutch. So as far as like my personal state of the Kings, I think we're in a really good position right now. Just really hoping that we can kind of like tie some more bows together.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the rug and the Big Lebowski. Can it pull the room together? You know what I'm saying? Can it just pull the room together?
It all works. Thank you, Steven. We really appreciate that. Thank you for the call. Always a faithful listener. He's right though about Valanciunas. I mean, honestly, that is a signing that will not be underappreciated, undervalued, and they needed him really as the backup. That's his spot. But now in the spot where he's got to start and he's going to come through, he is a starter in this league. And he's now starting for this team while Sabonis is out. And it also affords you to like, hey, look, you got to get Sabonis 100% right. You can't mess around with this hamstring and flirt with that at all. All right,
It would be scary if Valanciunas wasn't with the team right now.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Trey would do his part. They'd have to play small, but it would be really scary. Do we have time to hit? We don't have time.
How long is it?
It's like 2 minutes.
Okay, we're good.
All right, this is really good stuff. This is G-Man last night post game with our guy Malik Monk.
I think I'm hearing somebody on headset.
I'm handing over to Malik right now.
All right. Malik Monk's going to join us, I understand. Michael Martinez was checking things out outside the locker room.
G-Man, what's up?
Hey, my brother. Good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You too.
I was scared when you went walking off the floor late in the end of the quarter in the first half. What, you have a problem there?
Yeah, when I dove for the ball, he stepped on my foot. And, kind of like smashed my foot together. But yeah, I'm all right though.
On the possession before that, you had launched a pull-up, about a 14, 15-foot J, and I thought it looked awkward the way maybe you had jammed an ankle or a knee or something.
Yeah, it was just my foot. I couldn't extend all the way, so I had to just go to the back, make sure it's all good. But yeah, I'm good though.
Mystery solved.
Yes, sir.
Well, we were talking about the luxury of winning in wire-to-wire fashion and doing it on the road. There's a special significance that seems to go with that. How good does it feel?
Oh yeah, it feels great, man. It's hard to get wins in the NBA. Especially at this, how we did it tonight. So it's always good to see that happen. We finally was up, stayed up, and won the game up. So I feel like we're moving in the right direction. I had 0 turnovers tonight too, so that's another one.
And as the final box has just arrived here, only 7 turnovers by the Kings, and turnovers had been a problem here in recent games.
Yeah, it started with me, G-Man. I was throwing the ball everywhere, so I said it before. If I take care of that, I feel like everybody else will fall in line. So I got to continue to take care of the ball.
Well, that certainly is a great contribution in that respect. I want to ask you about your thoughts about seeing Jonas step in here in the absence of Domas and what Valanciunas is bringing to the Kings and how fortunate we are to have him now on the roster.
Yeah, exactly. We Jonas could start for probably every other NBA team here. So having him a backup to Domas is a luxury. Yeah, he's just huge. Rebound, big body. People think second guess when they go into the lane. He get a lot of rebounds. I told him he got to start making some of my passes, though. I'm going to stop passing to him.
I know you love to talk a little smack with everybody. It doesn't make any difference who it is.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Doesn't matter at all. Malik, it's always a joy to hear the joy in your voice and savor another Kings win here. 4 games over 500, making some good progress, my brother.
Oh, yeah. We're picking it up finally. Finally, we're picking the slack up. Hopefully, we can keep it up. Let's go to Denver and get another one.
Let's do it. Thanks, Malik.
Yes, sir. Thank you, G-Man.
All right.
I just love those two together. We need the reality show, G-Man and Malik. Just cruising through the NBA cities. I think that's a hit. TV producers out there, you're welcome.
In a convertible.
Yes, playing summer songs. G-Man songs, Malik songs. They're both trying to figure out which ones, just enjoying themselves. Oh, my goodness. I love it. All right, break time for us. More on the Kings coming up. When we return, though, 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness time. That is next.
Wednesday night, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all grills are created equal and every detail matters. Check out the new Napoleon Prestige and Rogue models and see the difference a Napoleon makes. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel, boasting absolute quality. Napoleon knows that the smallest details add up to make a big difference when curating your perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, Chris, what do we got in 3 for Madness today for question number 1?
Duke freshman Cooper Flagg played his likely final game at Cameron Indoor last night. We say likely because he reportedly has expressed some interest in returning. Should he?
You know what? He loved the chant that he got last night. I don't know if it's, caught up in the moment, but the Duke fans were saying, 1 more year, 1 more year. He just turned 18. I mean, my goodness. And he's already had a lot of attention. Where he got a lot more was last summer in Vegas when he was playing with the group going against Team USA, and he really did some damage there. He's had a great freshman season. This is one, much like Chris, we were saying, you can't tell people how to fan. Like, I bet 99% of the people out there, or 95, would say, go pro, start your clock early, start earning your money so you can get to that second big contract and set yourself and your family for life. Totally get that. You're running the risk of getting injured or anything. But it sounds like he loves college. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. He could enjoy it in 1 year and move on. I mean, no one would fault him for leaving. But most everybody leaves. I think it'd be awesome if he stayed. If he wanted to, if that's his choice, he's still going to be a top pick again the next year, barring some horrific injury, which we're not rooting for. But I think it would be refreshing if he stayed, but I think he'll go.
I'd tell him to leave.
You would?
Yeah.
Because?
Colleges just use the players. I mean, players are just now starting to get paid, but it's not like if he comes back for 1 year, it's not like Duke is going to try and make him a better all-around player. They're just going to use him for what he's good at, and then once he's done.
But he's enjoying that.
Yeah,
I mean, he loves it.
That's fine, but they're using him.
Yes,
that's my problem. That's my problem with the whole system.
Just because you're fully 100% understandably getting paid at your job,
you're getting paid to be used.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
if we had a completely other system, I was 100%. Like if Duke's plan was like, hey, when you come in here, we are gonna work and make you an all-around better player, I would be all for it. But that's not their goal.
You know, it'd be interesting, and this I'm almost certain would not happen. What if he played all 4 years and was great the whole time? Do you think in his 4th year he would go, because now he's 22, heaven forbid. Do you think he would be ranked lower?
Yes.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Well, the 18-year-old
I can't understand it, though, because you're not playing against NBA competition.
Right. But when he did, he was playing against the Olympic squad. He was killing it.
Yeah.
Man, good for him if he wants to do it, but they showed him signs like run it back like he wants to come back.
In all honesty, that's a player that you want because they're going to be getting into their prime while you still have them on their rookie contract.
Right. So he'll be a top 5, if not number 1 for sure if he goes. But I believe he'll go. But I think that's a little bit fun. His parents apparently loved that they were at the game. They're like, yeah, run it back. All right, let's get to question number 2.
Question 2.
Both the Cavaliers and Thunder have won 50 games already this season and have large leads for the top spots in their conferences. Why do they not get more love?
It's a great question. I guess we go to the small market, lack of stars. But look, they've got all stars. They've got a great team. The OKC was number 1 last year. They're 1 again. They're going to be 1. Cleveland's going to be 1 in the East. And in the East, there's still more attention to Boston, probably even to Philly for their failures. And in the West, I mean, I would be okay with it if I'm OKC because, go ahead and give all the attention to everyone else. But what the Lakers have done is good. What the Warriors have done has been nice. But, I mean, like the Warriors, I think, are 6-2 or something like that. And the Lakers have gotten hot here. But the Thunder have an 11-game lead. We've played a full season, and they've been the best team by far, consistently. And what the Lakers have done here in a stretch, the Thunder have done all season long. I mean, they've won 4 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're 50-11. They're going to win 60+. Lakers might get to 50-something. I mean, the Lakers are having a good year. They're great. I don't know about great, but I want to see them prove that, right? And OKC has in the regular season. Cleveland has in the regular season. But anytime anybody else does anything of significance on the national shows, it's, wow, are the Warriors the team to beat in the West? Are the Lakers the team to beat in the West? How about the team that is playing at an 82% win rate and was also the number 1 seed last year? It's funny because when the year started, I had a few questions about OKC. And now they're doing it. I find myself defending them. I also still think, my own personal opinion, you probably heard me say this by now multiple times, if I was running OKC, which they're very well run by Sam Presti, I would have been more aggressive at the trade deadline. I completely understand why they weren't. You don't really want to mess up a good thing, and they've got a really good thing. And I could see them running this and going all the way through and winning and saying, see, we didn't have to do anything. But I probably would have been, based on the players they currently have, and more importantly, the assets that they have waiting with all these draft picks, they could have gotten just about anybody in the league and secured even a better roster, in my opinion. It might have backfired. I might have got fired as that GM if I was doing it and go, you screwed up a team that was 50-11. I would have tried. I think I would have tried for a move that made it just a little bit more secure and going, come get us. Who's going to beat us? Now where you have a team like the Lakers or Denver or the Warriors that might go, hey, look at how we're playing. We're confident. We think we can beat you with this roster that we now have. So I think the Cavs and the Thunder should get more love. What they've done has been amazing, the consistency that they're doing it. But in the end, they'll have to prove that come postseason time. That's where it all falls for all these teams, really, the truth of that. All right, let's get to question number 3.
Question 3.
The Raiders could go after Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Russell Williams, or Justin Fields. Do you like any of those as ideas for the Silver and Black?
I do. I don't know if I have a preference of one over the other. There was some talk about Stafford as well before that. Yeah, because, Aiden O'Connell and Minshew, that's not it. And if you draft a QB, that's fine. You could go there and you're likely going to throw that QB into the mix and you hope you've landed on someone that you go, that's our guy. We've got a QB of the future, much like we saw what Washington had this year in Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix did a nice job. But you also could get QBs that are a little bit raw, maybe not quite ready, still set you back and get you a 3-14 season. So these other guys are more proven. I don't feel like they're just a QB away. Like Aaron Rodgers has, a year left, maybe 2. He will help. He'll make them better than what they were. Russell Wilson, Fields still intrigues me. I know Dave's talked a lot about him, about what he can ultimately become. Darnold had that bounce back year. And I think Cousins kind of fits the sweet spot of his age with years remaining that could still help. So I think all of those are decent choices and upgrades for the Raiders. And I don't know what their new front office, what Pete Carroll wants, but I do like the Raiders offseason. I really do. I think they've done a nice job of off-field upgrades, certainly in the coaching department. And that's part of it. You really need to line up your GM, your coach, your quarterback. If you can get that on one page of really high level of all of those, of the people making the decisions, the coach leading the team, and the quarterback running the team, that's the most successful teams generally in the league. And the Raiders aren't there. They're not there right now. They might be getting closer. I really do like the Pete Carroll hire. I think that was a good hire for them. But he's going to be as good as this player. So that's the next step. But yeah, I like any of those choices, honestly, for the Raiders to upgrade the quarterback position. All right, when we come back, Zach LaVine. After the show yesterday, we found out he was named Western Conference Player of the Week. He is starting to find his way as a King. He had another good game last night. We'll also hear from him post-game as the Kings got the win over Dallas. We'll talk about what Zach is now doing for the Kings next.
Wednesday night, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip-off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Great conditions, a fun layout, and unbeatable value. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines are Sacramento's #1 rated golf destination. With 27 holes, a spacious practice facility, and professional instruction, there's always a way to improve your game. Planning a tournament or corporate event, they offer customizable packages and award-winning catering to make your event effortless. Timber Creek is easy to find in Roseville, but hard to forget. Book your round today at timbercreekgc.com or call 916-774-3851.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Jack gets to put it on the floor, holds it at waist level for the moment, gets the screen from Valanciunas, steps right, launches the three, drills the three-pointer. Oh, what a smooth stroke that was from the newly designated Western Conference Player of the Week, Zach LaVine. The lead is 13. It's the biggest the Kings have enjoyed at 63-50.
Zach LaVine, as you're described by the G-Man, the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week, had another good night last night for your Sacramento Kings in the victory over the Dallas Mavericks. Your 8th seed, Sacramento Kings. It's like little victories. The Kings are in 10th. Kings are 9th. Now they're 8th. The slow climb up the Western Conference playoff ladder. And again, just for those, if you're still relatively new to this, just a reminder of the play-in game. If the season ended today, the Sacramento Kings would have to go to the Clippers to play the 7-8 matchup. If the Kings were to win that game, a one-off, they would be the 7 seed, and ironically, at this moment, would play the Lakers in the playoff series. If they lost as the 7-8 game, they would get a chance to come home and host the winner of the 9-10 matchup, which right now would be Minnesota and Dallas. This will all change. This will all shuffle, but just wanted to give everybody a little perspective on where the Kings are right now. After winning their 4th straight game, they completed their 3rd straight season sweep. First, it was Utah. Then they swept the Rockets. Now they have swept the Dallas Mavericks. And part of the turnaround, I think, for the Kings, or at least here lately, is the play of Zach LaVine. And I remember saying on this very show with Dave that I was a little bit nervous about Zach LaVine. He was a better player, at least his numbers suggested that, than when he got here and the way he started as a King. It took him a little bit of time, and I think he was a little bit slow on the adjustment, and that happens.
Well, he just had a kid.
Yes.
He's moving cities.
There's a lot to ask. I mean,
Yeah.
It really is. Hey, Zach, come here and score 40 every night. What's wrong with you?
Like, he hadn't played a couple games for Chicago. Then he gets traded. His wife is having a kid. He's trying to find a place to live here. So I think.
So what are you saying, Chris? Why wasn't he better? My gosh.
So I think after settling down a bit, it feels like he's comfortable here.
Yeah. And the other part, like, I know it's different systems, different verbiage, but a lot of guys know how to play. But literally in Chicago, Billy Donovan called a play every time. Called a play. Doug Christie, Mike Brown didn't. Doug Christie doesn't. It's kind of read and react. There's a few sets, but there's some freedom to it. And so that is honestly a big adjustment too.
One thing that Keegan said last night too, which is something I never really thought about, is just like, we have different vocabulary for what we want to do, and just trying to learn that, and then playing in game and not having any practices, and just so you're just now getting used to being on this team and being a part of it. It's like, okay, now I know what to do.
Yeah. So that takes, what's Zach played now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games.
It was when he was having like not the best time his first few games, it didn't look like he lost his confidence. It was just like, yeah, I'll get through this. This is going to be fine. Like, I'm going to contribute to this team.
Yeah, I will say he's a very confident player. Chris, by the way, did you say you had the LaVine interview?
It should be in the today's folder.
Oh, I wasn't seeing it. Anyway, we're going to hear from Zach LaVine coming up here in a moment, but let's back up and support some of this, because LaVine, Western Conference Player of the Week. Let's go in the win streak. Now the Kings have won 4 straight games. Here's some numbers for you from Zach LaVine. He is averaging 26.5 points per game. Here's the numbers that when he was dealt to the Kings, we're trying to figure out, okay, what is going to be different? What is he going to help with? You're losing out on De'Aaron Fox, who is a very talented player. How are you going to replace that? Well, the logic and the thought was instantly he's going to help the three-point shooting. And he wasn't doing that right away. Well, now he is shooting 63% from the floor overall in this 4-game win streak, but also 18 of 27 from 3 for 66%. So he's been doing some amazing things, and that's something that we saw that could help this team, right? We hadn't seen him play like this, and obviously if he does, it's going to make this team a much better version of itself. And so to watch that, to see him grow, to see him stay patient, to see his teammates stay patient, has really been productive for him, for the team. And let's hear a little bit of Zach LaVine post-game yesterday after the win for the Kings.
Recognized. And, I got to, give a lot of credit for the team and the coaches, getting me acclimated into the right system.
Okay.
Us doing our job and winning. So, it means a lot. And, I'm just grateful.
Tonight, obviously, Dallas loses Kyrie in the first quarter. But you guys come out at halftime, play with force, and essentially put the game away there. How important was it for you guys to have that mindset coming out of the break and not allowing them to maybe get emotional with given everything they were doing?
Yeah, I mean, they got, I hope Kyrie's okay. I hope, all their guys get, but I think Hardy got hurt as well. But it's part of the game. We have to do our job, and, knowing them other guys step up. We played in games before where, people, when their main guy goes out, everybody else gets some energy and someone steps up. So, we did our job of going out there and putting the game away and giving our starters some much needed rest.
And what are the things you can take from this run you guys are on that you can apply to when the schedule gets a little bit more difficult and you face some really good teams, including Wednesday night?
Yeah, I think we're just doing a good job sharing the ball. We're being connected on defense. We're helping each other. We see a guy that has it going, go to him, get back to the offense. But we're sharing the ball and playing with a sense of urgency.
On the defensive end, the communication seems to be pretty fluid, especially tonight, and maybe just a little more crisp than it had been. How much has the games you guys have played and the practice time you've had helped with the new guys that have come in?
Yeah, as much as everyone wants it to work on the first game, in media or outside where it just doesn't work that way. So, time and experience with playing. I think playing real live games always helps out. You need to go through a little ups and downs before you take off and start to understand everybody. At least speaking for myself, that's helped.
Yeah, reps. It's kind of what Chris talked about, staying patient, staying with it, and just the consistency now that he has given this team. You look at, let's take about his last 6-7 games. He had the 32-10 a game against New Orleans. Followed that up with 13. That was a poor performance for the Kings overall against the Warriors, but then 42, 22, 20, 22. He's hit at least 2 threes or more in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive games. And so, I think it was pretty clear to me. Sabonis felt like the most important player on this team. It felt like Fox was the best player on this team. Now you have Fox gone. You have Sabonis injured, and they're functioning just fine. They really are. And part of it is who they've been playing. When you had Charlotte in there and Utah and an injured Dallas team last night. But Houston was there, and they lost Sabonis a minute into that game. I just think you go up and down the roster, you're seeing more and more guys play very, very well. And Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, I would say, are so important to what they're doing offensively. And they still play through Sabonis, Malik not turning that over like we heard from him earlier. Those are all important elements to it. But they need those two guys to kind of do what they do, and they've been doing that consistently here lately. And then the collection of the rest and the mix and match of the offensive players more structured to the defensive players and their strength. Getting Keon in there, playing Keon has been critical. LaRavia's intensity and hustle. Valanciunas' just overall size. Keegan's kind of rounding into form. So we're seeing it happen. We're seeing it put together a little bit more consistently. And now that's what you get when we were talking about earlier about, like, why is a team like OKC not get the love, or why are the Lakers thriving right now? It's consistently doing it. And I think this team, even with Mike Brown, we saw flashes. Certainly under Doug Christie, we've seen more. And it's about doing it as many times as you can in a row. And there'll be some nights you just run into a team that is better than you and that maybe you just can't beat because you didn't play at their level enough minutes in a game. But I've said it from the get-go, if their goal from the season as an organization was to be a playoff team and to try to get through round one and to get to round two, and then you kind of go, you're going to kind of adjust at every level. But I don't see why they can't be that team. And there was a time when they were 6 games below 500, and I remember before the season predicting 50 wins, and someone on the text line is, you still think 50? No, I didn't. Not then. Not the way they were playing, not the way they looked. That was before the season, before they had played any games. I thought they would win 50 games. I really did. They could still get there. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think they'll get to 50. But can they be a top 6 team? Again, we said it earlier in the show. These are all big ifs. If the Warriors lose tonight to the Knicks, if the Clippers lose tonight to the Suns, if the Timberwolves lose tonight to the Sixers, the Kings are in 6th without even playing. So it's doable. They're right there. But March, they've won the first 2 games in March. Doesn't mean they figured out the whole March gauntlet. They've got way more difficult games coming up. But so far, so good. Winners of 4 in a row. And the fact that Zach LaVine is playing at this level really, really helps the team. All right, when we return, we'll talk more about the Kings taking advantage of the injured Mavericks and just the rotten luck that team is going through. But first, 1-800-920-1140, 339-1140. If you know last night's Jiffy Lube drive of the game, the first person to call in and identify that on air, you will win a $100 gift card, courtesy of our friends from Jiffy Lube. So you heard G-Man describe that play last night. Call in right now, and you get your chance to win that $100 gift card. We'll do that and give a game ball for last night's game. That's all coming up on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with 2 people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. Not guaranteed.
Jodeci, the iconic multi-platinum R&B group, performing all your favorite hits. Live in concert, Jodeci, with special guest In Vogue and Father MC. Friday, March 28th at the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. Visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Jodeci, live.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet?
RV wins!
Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach?
RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Spring is in the air, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube. Today, get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, a huge spring savings for you today.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
One ticket, 2 huge shows.
The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too. 2 shows, 1 massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show.
March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo.
Find discounts at
2hugeshows.com.
Carmichael Dave.
Has very good
good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
All right, again, 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. You can identify our Jiffy Lube drive of the game last night. Be the first one to do so, and you will win a $100 gift card, courtesy of our friends from Jiffy Lube. So get on that right now. We had this earlier, a couple of texts to clean up. Going back to question 2 from 3 for Madness, the reason the small market teams don't get love, and by the way, the question was, why aren't the Thunder and the Cavs getting more love? Based on what they're doing this year, is how the NBA as a whole covers all 30 teams. 30 years ago, each team would get some sort of love, but now it's all about the big markets. I think that's a huge reason why the NBA is suffering in its viewership. Okay, that could be. It's also, if it isn't about the top 3 franchises in the league, the rest of it's unworthy of mentioning. That's from Jason in Rockland. Also, 916, Jason, thank you for being positive. I'm tired of all the tank talk. Has there been tank talk? People act like losing Fox was the end of the world. It's not. I'm positive the way they're playing right now. I had always wondered whether or not they could just have done the moves they made and not traded Fox till the offseason. But they did do it. So you move on. That happened. I feel like when they did trade, there's a couple of breaking points on the season that we talked about earlier. When the Kings had lost, 5 in a row, and the way they lost to Detroit, it felt like something had to happen. There was a lot of probably internal pressure, and they made that trade. When the Fox rumors became very, very public, and I think it impacted the locker room, because let's remember the last couple of games the Kings lost while Fox was here. Let me look back on this. They lost. Okay, this is the stretch when the rumors kind of started to happen. They lost in New York 143-120. They then bounced back and beat Brooklyn. The very next game, they lost to a bad Philadelphia team by 13, and then the game in OKC, when all the rumors were really heating up, they got embarrassed, 144-110, and it just looked like they had lost their way, lost their spirit, lost their belief, and they had lost 4 or 5. And so the trade was made, and now here's where we are. So that's still going to set us up for Friday. I still think that's going to be a really interesting night. I know we'll talk about that more as we get there, and certainly recap it when we come back on Monday. But I got to say, I'm a little bit nervous for just the way that game is going to go. I'm not talking about the outcome, talking about how Fox will be received. I personally, I'm going to say that I really, really like De'Aaron Fox. He's one of my favorite Kings of all time as a player. And I, as a Kings fan, as a Kings broadcaster, personally, this is me speaking, I think it's awesome when players come back, no matter if they were fringe players, played, 10 games as a King to 4 years as a King, and they get this loving reception of the fan base that maybe at times was frustrated with players. I mean, no player's perfect. There's never been, anyone like that, but just like, man, you're a King. We love you. Welcome back. Let's treat you well. You're an Orlando Magic player now. Welcome back. We've always loved you, former King. I think that's awesome. That's me. I love that. I like when the players get that love and that attention and think fondly of their time in Sacramento. And then that's De'Aaron, who on the list of things that he's done for the organization versus what he hasn't done, it's so skewed in the positive to me that there are fans, and we get the texts, we get the tweets, we get the messages on the chat. Like they can't wait to go to that game to boo him. And I guess I'm saying how to fan, because we always say you can't tell people how to fan. If you're going to boo, you're going to boo. I can't stop you. I can't control that. I feel like that's odd. And he wouldn't be the first person. I remember Durant going back to OKC, ruthless booing. I mean, he's a legend of the game. If it happens, it happens, but I don't like it. I won't love that, but I'll be there. I'll be there for it and be there to react to it.
Fragile ego, fragile body, weak mind, weak spirit.
Is that me or is that De'Aaron?
That's De'Aaron.
Oh. Okay.
And the thing of, I don't think he's getting booed. I think he will be booed by a certain percentage, but I think it's going to be an overwhelming standing ovation.
Will the boos warm up? Will they get louder? Like, who was it who came here? I think Bagley got that. I think Buddy got it where they got booed every time they touched the ball. I'm like, wow.
Well, Buddy deserved it.
Okay. Some would say De'Aaron does. I don't think so, but some would. De'Aaron's continued to talk a little bit. I don't know that he's talked much.
He hasn't talked in a while
lately, but we'll see what he says leading up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how would you feel if De'Aaron came in here and gave us a big number and won the game, like with some sort of late game heroics? Indifferent?
Yeah.
Keep it pushing? Because the reality,
the thing I would, what if he's like, what if they sit him out for like health or something?
Yeah,
like that?
well, that would be. Because look, this is how much has changed, Chris. When the trade happened, let's remember where San Antonio was, and I said, look, we've got to get our heads wrapped around a real possibility of facing De'Aaron Fox in a play-in. Like, that was a real possibility.
Okay.
And now that doesn't feel like a possibility. Is it still possible? Sure, but they have gone the wrong way, and they don't have Wembanyama anymore. And where are they right now? They're in 13th. They still got to leapfrog Portland and Phoenix and get up into the top 10. They're 9 games below 500. They got to get hot. They got to get very, very hot. So, anyway, that's Friday. We got another game in between that's equally important, if not more important, playing Denver on Wednesday. And then, of course, the Spurs game coming up on Friday. All right, so let's give out a game ball for last night. I would love your take on that on our chat. You guys have a thought on who would get the game ball from last night, also in the text line, 916-339-1140. I think last night's a tougher choice because you could go down the board and go, make a case for DeRozan.
Yeah, I think he deserves it.
How about Zach LaVine?
Oh, you know what? That would be a good pick.
But, Valanciunas started for Sabonis.
That's my pick.
Malik didn't have a turnover.
That is pretty good. I think I could go with him.
You see Keegan's aggressive two-way play?
Oh, that's my guy.
Who almost had a triple-double off the bench? Trey Lyles.
Okay, Trey. I could see Trey.
Chris, are you cutting the game ball into 6 pieces?
Maybe.
Maybe more. What about Jake LaRavia? What about... I know Keon didn't score, but it's Keon Ellis. Look at his defense.
Scal back in the lineup.
And Scal getting some run. Again, look, this is something funny. And now I feel like any fan out there, which is fine, I guess I am. Why can't Jay Crowder play?
Yeah.
He's the only one that didn't play. Has he been punished? Remember when he was picked up and he started?
I kind of wish he's like the one behind that, where it's just like, dude, if you don't need me, just let me hang out here for a bit.
I'm good over here. I'm good being a cheerleader. I'm good getting my pregame warm-ups.
It's like when we used to be in that rec league basketball team. Like, hey, you want to come in? No, I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah. I love that transition from like, I want to play every minute to like, you want to come back in? No, I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah, but you haven't played that much. I know. I'm good. I guess we did pay for that league, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm out here to have some fun, go through get some up and down on the floor. But honestly, I don't care. I just don't care. The worst thing, though, was I had a really embarrassing one in high school. I can't remember when my coach said come in. Like I played usually a lot for whatever this game I just wasn't called on. And we got near the end, and there's probably about 4 minutes to go. And he's like, Ross. I'm like, okay. And it was my time to come in, and we didn't get a dead ball. And then I was just sitting there, and I was below the scorer's table. So now I really didn't want to go in.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, good, this game is going to end. And the ball went out of bounds, and there was like 11 seconds left. I'm like, oh. I should have just walked back to the bench, but I didn't want people to see me. And so they're like, buzzer. I had to come in for 11 seconds. And it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sacktown Sports breaking news.
What do you got, Chris?
Tough news.
Oh,
this is according to Shams Charania.
Is this regarding Dallas?
Dallas Mavericks All-Star Kyrie Irving has suffered a season-ending torn ACL in his left knee, sources tell ESPN. That's tough.
I saw, this is where it's good and bad, dangerous though to be reporting this. I saw a couple of quote Twitter they were doctors, that was their handle. They're like, best case scenario, hyperextension, maybe a grade 1, worst case is torn ACL.
I'm trying to there was a Kings player, was it Sabonis that kind of had that like hyperextension, and everyone's just like, oh God, he's done. And then it was just like, oh no, he just hyperextended it.
Yeah, and then kept playing.
Yeah.
And it was such a weird reaction. You saw when it happened?
I saw when it happened. That's kind of what I feared, just because his reaction to it. Because what you hear with ACLs is like you hear that pop, but there's not like a huge amount of pain with it,
right,
and where you can walk around on it. And that's what I fear. It's just like, oh, he knew something was bad, but it wasn't like he was in a bunch of pain.
Well, the very initial reaction, like he's laying on the ground, he's face down, and it's kind of like, I think he even kind of did like a smile to the camera and maybe even to the other players coming up. I'm like, oh, he's okay. And then like even like his hand, like he kind of reached his hand out a little bit, and it looked like it was totally shaking.
Yeah.
Like, wait, is he in a little bit of shock here?
And then he kind of like waved someone over type of thing.
And then you're like, okay, there's something going on. Like, I hope he's okay. They go to commercial, they come back, they show the hyperextension, and then when he could barely get up, and you're like, oh my gosh, this does not look good. So officially, what is it? Torn ACL?
Yeah.
According to Shams. Man. That stinks. Absolutely stinks. So Dallas as a team, as a threat in the Western Conference, you never write anybody off, but that is really, really critical. I mean, you don't have Luke anymore. You now have lost Kyrie, and AD, their next or other best player, is still not returning. They've got all those bigs that are injured. Man, I hate it. Unfortunate news there. I think the splitting of the game ball is a good idea for the Kings, the starting five and the bench and Coach Christie. Everybody gets a game ball from last night. Man, still a little shook from that news about Kyrie Irving. When we come back, we'll have a palate cleanser. We'll have a little fun. It's rewind time. Maybe you missed the game. Maybe you don't know what happened. Hey, you heard that they won, but how did they do it? We can explain it to you in our way, called Kings Rewind. That is next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lifetime guaranteed Power Torque professional hand tools only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo,
Some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice.
Ain't nice.
Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149
For tax prep that's $149 or less. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
KHTK-HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
That's right, Carmichael Dave back with us tomorrow. Jason Ross, Christopher Lott hanging out here till 10 o'clock. Then Alan Stiles will be in final segment of the show, and he'll join us, and we'll have celebrity birthdays for today. And we'll preview his show. Full day of shows, followed by Alan Stiles. Then we have the Drive Guys. And again, anything you ever miss, anything you want to get caught up on, hey, I heard about an interview, or I heard about this segment. I saw Dave wearing pants. I heard about Dave wearing pants on his head. Well, you can go back to our YouTube page and follow that. Subscribe there. Get all the alerts, everything we do at sacktownsports.com. A lot of content out there for you guys. So we appreciate all of you. So many of you already know this, but you regulars, thank you. Really, thank you for what you're doing. Big turnout again on our YouTube. Thank you. Hit the like and subscribe there. And if you missed it, Chris said it, the breaking news to end last hour. Kings got the win last night, but a costly one for Dallas. Kyrie Irving, it's official. A torn ACL. Man, just absolutely hate that for him. Yeah, absolutely hate that for him. So, Campeo says, J. Ross, quick question. Did you burn the pants that Dave wore on his head yesterday when you went home? No, but he did ask the question, were we going to wash them? They're going to be washed. Sorry, Dave. You looked very clean. You did have a nice head of hair. You had a good hair day going too yesterday that we ruined with the pants. But other people are like, J. Ross, got to keep it going. Got to wear the pants on your head. No, I didn't say that.
You didn't say it.
It was Dave's prediction.
Dave needs to wear pants on his head.
Yeah, he said it, and he followed through. And our guy Roger thought he wasn't right. But then by the end, they made up. Look, we've all come together here. We've all come together. And we're all going to come together right now with a segment we like to call Kings Rewind. Well, no bold predictions, no pants on the head for this one in Dallas. Just the need for a victory for the Sacramento Kings.
I want a victory. Oh, I want a victory. I want a victory. I want a victory. You want a victory.
Well, Sacramento and Dallas, along with three other teams, all bunched tightly together between 6th and 10th seed in the Western Conference standings.
No touching. No touching. No touching. No touching.
What's that from?
Arrested Development.
Okay. Classic show, by the way. The Kings are going into this one without the services of their centerpiece in Domantas Sabonis, who is out with an injured hamstring.
Have we displeased you, almighty God in heaven? Do our lives mean nothing to you?
Well, for Dallas, the wounded list was very long. No Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, or P.J. Washington for this one.
Hello?
The first quarter didn't help the cause for the Mavs either, as a hush fell upon the arena when Kyrie Irving went down with a hyperextension injury on his leg.
That's not good.
Well, Kyrie boldly stayed in the game to shoot the free throws, but that was it for his night.
Get well soon, we want you to get well. Get well soon, we want you to get well.
And by the way, now, some breaking news, as you heard earlier, he is out, unfortunately, for the season with that torn ACL. Man. All right, the Kings' lead was 7 at the time when Kyrie left the game, and the Kings extended that to 10 by halftime.
Strike hard, no mercy, sir. I can't hear you. Strike hard, no mercy, sir.
With Dallas scuffling, they actually called upon 10-day contract signing Kai Jones, who had a career-high 13 points at halftime.
What the f***? What the f***?
The third quarter was a statement time for the Kings as they started the third on a 25-6 run to help balloon the lead. By the end of the quarter, the Kings outscored the Mavericks 34-16 and had a 28-point advantage going into the fourth.
He's already dead.
Well, Doug Christie utilized a balanced attack to hit the Mavericks from all angles as the starting five was all in double figures. The bench did their part too as the Kings completed their third straight season sweep. First it was Utah, then Houston, and now Dallas.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
The Kings go wire to wire in their 122-98 W.
Do you know how easy this is for me? Do you have any idea how easy this is? This is a fucking joke.
Is that Nick Cattles? Sounded like him. Sacramento picked up their 17th road win, and in the West, only Oklahoma City and Denver have more.
The big three. It's just big me.
Oh, I like that one. Sacramento now is a season best 4 games above 500.
We're not that bad.
The Kings leapfrog Minnesota in the standings. The Kings will scoreboard watch tonight with a chance to move to 6th if everything goes right.
I am begging you from my soul.
And the final game of this productive road trip already is tomorrow in Denver against former Kings head coach Michael Malone and the Nuggets.
I can't wait to kill you.
And there you go. That is how the game played out last night in Dallas. Maybe you missed it. Maybe you didn't get a chance to watch it. Maybe you only heard about it. Now you're caught up. Oh, they're requesting that we needed a spark. Man, we're asking
Did you
for
see
hits.
the game? They didn't need a spark.
No spark needed. That was the jump ball. They were ready to go. Wire to wire, which will show up a little bit later on our recap of 3 in the Key when we asked for largest leads by each team. We did not fare as well as some of our past predictions, but
know who we got to see score last night?
Who? I forgot. I should have put him in just because. What was his final stat line for Mr. Jones? That could have been used for Kai Jones too on their team, but that's for Isaac Jones. 3 for 3, 6 points. Man, going down the list, it was really amazing. I couldn't believe Keon didn't score. Only Keon and Scal didn't score. At the end of the night, I didn't even realize what Trey had done. 4 for 4, 9 points, 9 boards, 6 assists.
I'm happy.
And a pretty dominant performance for the Sacramento Kings. There's the spark. There you go. There you go, YouTube chat. That was just for you, Peg Junk. Julie Reed, I love the rewinds. Verlad's laugh gets me every time. Best segment of the broadcast. Okay. You're welcome. And for those in sales, still looking for a sponsor.
Hey.
Season's winding down.
Got
Not
20
too late.
games.
Not too late. Never too late. Maybe dare I say it? Playoff special rewind?
What?
play-in special. I mean, think about that. Your name here, attached to the rewind. Christopher Lott will cut your spot. Maybe I will. Don't get Dave involved. This is a Chris and Dave and Jason thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah. That's how we do things. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. Kings got the win last night. We're going to dive into this a little bit more, including in the next segment when we talk about Keegan. I think Keegan Murray. Oh, I didn't put any Keegan in there. I love when you have Keegan drops because they're very straightforward. They're your guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. for sure. And you know what? I probably should have just listed off each player that did something just so you could attach something. We could have got the Zach LaVine. Anyway, Keegan's bounce back, what he's played lately. We've already chronicled what Zach LaVine has done, how Malik played. Just, again, the collective effort that this team showed. I think this is the way. This is the way it's got to be done for this team as they go forward. But if you missed it, do want to give one more reminder for those. I know people jump in and out of the car at different times in the morning or jump in and out of, the app and radio and whatever it may be. But the breaking news, as we kind of thought, it didn't look good for Dallas, and Kyrie Irving did tear his ACL in the game last night. So just feel gutted for him and for the Mavs. And did you see the news yesterday, by the way, Chris? Timing is everything on all this stuff. There's never a right time to do this. But Dallas announced that they were increasing ticket prices.
Oh, yeah.
So you trade off your generational talent. You're going to have the bold statement to increase ticket prices. AD is already hurt, and now Kyrie is done for the year.
Here's what I hate so much about ticket pricing in the NBA, and this is really all American sports, is that the majority of their money doesn't come from tickets.
Right.
Like
TV.
The vast majority is just TV.
Yeah, it's like add-on money.
Yeah,
right? They want it, but they don't
They
need
want
it,
it, but they don't need it.
Yeah.
Like if you truly wanted, I do like the idea of the Clippers like wall, but still ticket prices are crazy. Like if you truly want a big game experience, like atmosphere, you have to lower tickets. So like hardcore fans, no matter what their job is, can make a game.
What is the price there for the wall tickets? I forgot.
I think it's like $60-$70.
Okay. And then what was the other catch?
But like if
wall?
Let's say
you had to be a Clipper fan,
yeah,
right?
no, you can't like wear other team stuff for that.
Okay.
So like let's say it was my team and I was doing that, I would want like $20 tickets for that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, look, we don't own a team. We don't have this. I think to me, what feels like the sweet spot, I think to me, if you can get, you got to get some money for your tickets. You're not giving these away. But I think I would land on trying to find the right price point. Lower level tickets are worth more than the upper level. But I think I would really knock down the concessions. I think that's where I like, who does it? The Falcons?
And the Suns just announced that too. The Suns are doing that.
I mean, I got you.
And you don't even have to, you don't even have
building.
to do like, you can have your like higher end food there.
Right.
There should be like a couple of spots where you could get a $2 hot dog.
Right. And can I get out of there? Can I get a meal for $2? I mean, whatever. Can I get $10 to get a drink, a dog, maybe one other thing, a popcorn? I mean, that's pretty cheap, but like I got you on my $60 ticket.
Yeah.
Parking. I still don't know how.
Or maybe like a $20 like all you can eat option with those things.
Yeah. Who does that? Dodger Stadium, like an outfield, like it's like, I forget what it might be, like $50, but it's all you can eat. And you're like, even if you're just a glutton out there, I just feel like you're getting your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And I feel for Dallas. And I know, ironically, I'm saying that about Dallas, but the Kings, their timing for their season ticket renewals, they sent them out, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the day of or the night of the Warrior game. So it's right out of the break. There was some excitement coming into the break, and then they played the Warriors and just got embarrassed. You're like, ugh. But obviously, since then, it's been all good, including a 4-game winning streak for the Sacramento Kings. All right, when we return, we will talk about what we were just mentioning. Keegan Murray, really nice to see him play well. We'll hear his post-game reaction, and he's getting better and better. His numbers, like we said it, he's generally a slow starter. The numbers are starting to improve, and so are the results. We'll talk about Keegan when we come back.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
We rely heavily on our HVAC systems during the cold valley winters and hot valley summers. That's why there are so many HVAC companies out there. So when you need a new system or a tune-up, where do you turn? I turned to Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Once our heater checked out, we checked in at leesair.com. The entire experience exceeded our high expectations. You want prompt service from people who know what they're doing, can save you money, and will treat you right? For your HVAC needs, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, on the web at leesair.com. Ask about their $99 HVAC tune-up service, license number 635-355.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Malik Monk enters now to Trey Lyles. Got room to work in the low post. Spins, feeds it out to Keegan. Open for the spray three, and he hits the triple. Kings have their biggest lead of the ball game, up a dozen at 60-48.
Keegan
Murray.
Thank you. The rest of you out there participated. I know you did. In 24 minutes last night, Keegan Murray, 6 of 10, 4 of 8 from 3, made both free throws, 5 boards, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 18 points. His plus minus, the team best, plus 29 when he was on the floor. I want to get into Keegan Murray, but more importantly, the texters coming in. This is an important one. Chris, can we get Chris to break down why he didn't like the elimination chamber and what he would have changed? That's what I want to hear.
How do they know what I felt about?
Do you agree with that? Did you not like it?
Well, the big thing was John Cena turned heel, but it's just like, dude, this should have happened like 15 years ago. This is like when everyone wants to like him, and now you're going to turn heel? Come on.
Unpredictable. Was The Rock heel in that too?
Yes.
Because it looked like he was with The Rock and someone else.
Travis Scott, who ended up really hurting Cody Rhodes because he literally punched him in the head.
Well, they all John Cena was punching him in the head.
No. No.
Chris. Okay. That's what they wanted to know. That's from the 916. So we're taking requests. But Chris is going to be at AEW tomorrow night, everybody.
Come and say hi.
Come and say hi at the Memorial Auditorium.
If your seats are good enough.
Yeah. Woo, shots fired. Chris living large, living close.
I like how I did a big thing of just like, hey, come on.
Make tickets. And here's Chris, front row Chris. You won't turn those down when you get those, will you? And you shouldn't. That's a fun opportunity. Last night, we heard the Keegan highlight there. Keegan was really good. He had a couple of plays that I personally liked a lot. He's going to hit his spray threes. He needs to attempt those. I mean, really where Keegan has only been in trouble with Coach Brown and even now Doug Christie is when he doesn't take his open looks. But he had at least one, it might have been 2. There was one where he got a rebound and started to go coast to coast. And it's like, okay, Keegan, okay. And he just kept going, and he bullied, might have been Dinwiddie all the way through and just went all the way to the basket. I'm like, we don't see that enough of him. And then he did it another time in the half court. And so I feel like we're seeing doses of more aggressive Keegan. And his numbers have been better. The team has played better. I think now last night with that 18-point game, that's happened 10 times this year when he scored 18 or more. And the Kings are 8-2. And I said this to begin the year. It's not a surprise to me that some of Keegan's offensive numbers went down. Let's go back to the beginning of the season when your offense is really featured around Fox, Sabonis, and DeRozan. So I thought it made sense that Keegan's numbers would go down. We also saw Kevin Huerter's numbers go down. And then when you put Malik Monk in the starting lineup, I mean, Keegan's role is a little bit different. Well, now that Fox is gone, and certainly with Sabonis being out, I mean, Keegan, I don't even know if you have to call a number one option. I think DeMar's going to get you 20, and LaVine will be at 20 most every night, but Keegan can live there. And so can Malik Monk. And if you get Sabonis there, I mean, it's not absurd to think that you could have 4 or all 5 starters in that 16 to 25 point range. Maybe you don't need somebody going for 35, but if you've got a lot of 16 to 18 point scorers, again, last night, 20 for DeRozan, 16, make it 18 for Keegan, 14 for Valanciunas, 13 for Monk, and 22 for LaVine. Really nice production there. It really was nice for the Kings to get that kind of numbers from Keegan, and I still think he can do that more consistently. I also think people develop at different rates. Keegan came in and I think surprised a lot of people with how efficiently he shot the 3 ball in his rookie year. Had a tremendous year beyond the arc. Had a good year 2 and a slow start to year 3, but is really starting to round out into form. When people talk about you need a 3-and-D guy, he's that. He is a really good defender. There's still more offense to go for his game. And Keegan's the type of guy that I still look at as unfinished business. He's not raw, but he played a lot of post, a lot of interior in college. He's still rounding out to the NBA form, and it's happening. People develop at different rates. And I mean, if we go to De'Aaron Fox in year 3, I mean, he was starting to look like, oh man, this guy's going to be pretty darn good. And he became a very, very good player. You know, some guys develop more into year 4, 5, 6, 7 even. I mean, Keegan's still got more growth. And I think these are all good things for the Sacramento Kings. And I think now that they're trying to achieve this as more of a balanced attack, it kind of fits into Keegan's DNA as well. Let's hear what he had to say post-game to the media after the win last night.
Together, we've only been together for a limited time, limited practices, things like that. So I feel like the more we're playing, the more we're feeling each other out. So I think that's just a testament of us getting more comfortable with each other.
What are the things that you can apply from this recent run you guys are on to when the schedule gets more difficult and you start to play some really good teams, including Wednesday?
We're playing good basketball against teams that we should beat. So I think we're playing really good professional basketball right now. So again, like we have a tough one next game. So I'm just trying to translate these last 4 wins and or against better teams.
For you, you seemed pretty aggressive tonight from the start. And I think a lot of times when you're aggressive, I think the Kings, they kind of feed off that. It seems like the team feeds off that. For you, how important is that for you to get aggressive early and see if you go down and just kind of carry the over?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously just a different year, new guys, a lot of transition on our team and things like that. So I think the more I have an impact on the game, the better it is for our team. And that's not just offensively, that's defensively too. So just trying to continue to stay aggressive, just trying to pick my spots where I can.
On the defensive side, I asked Zach this. The defense team, you guys seem to be communicating a little better out there than maybe when everyone first kind of came in. You guys were figuring stuff out. Do you guys feel that on the court, or what's kind of the vibe on the defensive side for you?
Yeah, I mean, every team you go to, there's similar communication styles and there's similar terms that you use for different things. So we've had a lot of guys come from different teams, so them getting used to our terminology just is easier for us to talk on the court. So guys are picking up on it a lot faster now, and you can see that in our defense performances.
All right, some comments there from Keegan Russell on our chat. Has not been impressed by Keegan. He says Keegan, 12, 7-1 guy in 30-plus minutes a game is not great. His best year was still his rookie year, and that's a problem. I think you're looking at just offense. I mean, his numbers are lower than some, and his efficiency. And again, like I laid out, I'm not surprised by that. I think his numbers, the back half of this season or the last 30 will be a little bit better with the departure of Fox and how they'll need Keegan more offensively. But it's a little bit like saying, well, Keon Ellis didn't score last night. Had a bad game. That's not it. There's other value to, you're just looking at offense. Keegan is on the floor and as a starter for his defense too. When he's guarding, last night he started on Kyrie. He's guarded a lot of the other best players on teams, and his value to this team is his two-way ability. And so, if Keegan's numbers, let's just say we're at 20 points per game, that would look better for him, but then DeRozan's would be lower, or LaVine's would be lower, or we'd be questioning Malik. It's just kind of way the roster is constructed, and I wouldn't be entirely surprised as Keegan's career goes on as a King, or if he moves on to another team, that his offensive numbers just slowly start to climb. I don't know that it'll ever be a 25-point per game scorer in the league, but there's such value in having guys that could play on both ends. He doesn't hurt you offensively. He's a complement to the offense, and he's certainly a strength to the defense. So that's the way I see it, at least with Keegan Murray. Like on the season, I was looking at season-long plus-minus for the team. He's the fourth best on the team. DeMontis, DeRozan, Malik, and Murray. That's the order of the top. And then Keon. That's the 5 best plus-minus. Zach LaVine, in a short amount of time with the Kings, is already at plus 71. Valanciunas is up there. All 7 of those are better than De'Aaron Fox as far as plus-minus when they're on the floor. So that's a little deceiving, but I mean, you're this far in. I don't think it's that deceiving to say that the minutes Keegan's been on the floor for this team, no matter what he's been around, the team has been 91 points better. So I'm a fan of Keegan. I think there's still more to go for his game. I don't look at him as someone they need to move on from or tweak or adjust or bench or whatever. I think his role is right where it is right now. It's nice. Hits timely threes enough, gives you enough offense, and is excellent on the defensive end. All right, when we come back, the Kings have reached 60 games. It's been a bizarre season, the ups and downs. Doug Christie has coached 29 of them. Some of the numbers that are better under Doug, we will discuss, and we'll do all that when we come back here on Sacktown Sports.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco. On ball, George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Well, let me tell you about my guy, Jonathan Gonzalez, Gonzalez Law in downtown Sacramento. He's local. He's here. He's in our community. He likes to spend some time on the river. You might have seen him out there, but he's one of us. That's the point. And he is here to help all of us, any of you that might need representation. And everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made some mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you around? You like that record cleaned up to get some of your rights back. Well, he is an expert in that with expungements. A lot of people come through and ask about that to help kind of get their life back in order. Maybe you need criminal defense. Maybe you need help with a sexual harassment case, wrongful termination case, auto accident. There are lots of different scenarios in which you might have questions or need legal representation. Well, Jonathan Gonzalez is your guy. He's a guy that has spent a lot of time in the courtroom, and his overall approach has resulted in life-changing impact for thousands of clients. And you could be the same. Again, locally here, you can reach him by calling 916-304-9187 or go to sacklegaldefense.com.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Our rivers are a part of Sacramento that we can all take pride in, but just one piece of litter can ruin the picture. Alan Stiles here from Sacktown Sports. Let's keep our community beautiful and make Sacramento litter-free. Learn how at BeRiverFriendly.net.
One ticket, 2 huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. You know I'm a big guy, right, everybody? So sometimes, even my SUV or sedan, I want a little more space. Maybe I want to take the fellas to the football game or to the basketball game. Maybe I want to go golfing. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has the perfect solution. They have a Vans Fleet Center, and they understand your business needs. They understand your personal needs as well. They have a great inventory and a huge selection, and plus, they have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric eSprinter alongside those reliable diesel options. So if you're looking for a new van just for personal reasons or even for your business fleet, head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And get this, you can take advantage of their exclusive limited time 0% APR financing offer for up to 60 months on select models. So head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbfstockton.com and tell them Drape sent you.
Jodeci, the iconic multi-platinum R&B group, performing all your favorite hits. Live in concert, Jodeci, with special guest In Vogue and Father MC. Friday, March 28th at the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. Visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Jodeci, live.
With the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Creeping forward now, screen from Trey Lyles, drives, reaches with the left hand, it's too strong. Lyles, offensive rebound, out to LaRavia for three. Jake LaRavia knocks down the triple. Sacramento has now made 12 of 24 three-pointers tonight. 92-64 as a result.
Kings were knocked down 16 on the night, 16 of 34, shot over 50%, got the offense, got the defense going, good balanced attack, and took advantage of a depleted Dallas team. And again, if you are joining us late, really bad news for the Dallas Mavericks. It's official, Kyrie Irving, torn ACL. His season is over. So, man, just he knew it. He knew something bad happened last night. I hated to see it happen. And the Kings, the show goes on. That's the reality. It's the cruel reality of the sport. No one's going to wait and stop and go, oh, let's feel sorry for Dallas. It's just not the way it works. And so the Kings capitalized on that. Kyrie was only what did he play? Let me look back here. About 9 minutes, had 7 points. But now they got to go to work without him and see if they can hold off Portland and or Phoenix for one of those bottom spots in the Western Conference playoff race. So, that certainly was tough to see, but we're talking about the Kings here. And what I've been talking about here, they've now played 60 games. They're season best, 4 games above 500 at 32-28. We mentioned it earlier. A perfect night tonight while the Kings are off is the Warriors losing to the Knicks, the Clippers losing to the Suns, even though you can make an argument the Suns losing would also help. And then if the T-Wolves lost to the Sixers, if all 3 things happened, the Kings would then be the 6th seed. By the end of the night. So that's what they need there. But look, it's about the Kings taking care of their own business. They go to Denver. They're leaving today. They stayed the night in Dallas, and then they'll fly to Denver to get ready for the Nuggets. Much better setup playing Denver with a day off. Denver's been off since Sunday than the last time they went to Denver, which was the second night of a back-to-back. And I think G-Man had said that night they got in at like 3 or 4 in the morning. It's just brutal. You lose an hour. It's the farthest spot, airport to hotel in the league. The time change, the elevation, it's just difficult. Denver's also really good at home and anywhere. So tough one. This is not a back-to-back. So we'll see how that one goes tomorrow night. But I like what we've seen where Doug is. And look, I've really tried my best to separate my personal thoughts of Doug Christie as a person, as a friend, to what he's doing as a coach. And now sometimes you could just let the numbers speak for itself. This team has played 60 games. Doug has coached 29 of them. They're 19-10 under Doug Christie. That's above the level than they are right now overall, as far as a team of 4 games above 500. He's got them 9 games above 500. It's got a couple of nice winning streaks. There's some bad games in there too. They're clunkers, that's for sure. They have that OKC game, his first game in LA. Philly was kind of a bad loss. The Warriors embarrassed him. So, it's not like everything's been perfect, but it's been better. And I liked Mike Brown a lot. I love Doug's messaging. I just knew when I worked with him, got to know him on pre, half, and post on the radio after working with him as a player when he was a player years ago. But then working the afternoon show with him from a year or so, maybe longer. Knowing how much he wanted to do this, knowing that he really should be doing this, that he's cut out for this. And I can't tell you how excited I will be for him if he gets the job full time, because I kind of know the different things he wants to do with a camp, and just he has got different ideas, and different doesn't always mean better. But I just think in this case, he's had a different voice than Mike Brown, and I think he's hit all the right notes. I really do. He comes at it more from a positive lane, and it doesn't mean that everything's always right, but he also has expectations, and he's been stern in what he said in post games when they've been bad. Like, this is unacceptable. We will be better. We will get better. This is going to start with me and the rest of the guys. But also very praising. I just think he would be the kind of coach you'd want to play for. I know I would. And we're seeing those kind of results right now, and it's been fun to watch. Let's get a little bit of Doug Christie, though, post-game last night after the Kings' victory against Dallas.
For us, hopefully, everybody, Kai and everybody over there is okay, first and foremost. You hate to see guys go down. So a lot of love to everybody over on that side of the locker room. For us, a professional win is kind of how I put it. A lot of times we have taken our foot off the gas sometimes when people have gone down or whatever. And to the guys' credit, they came out in the third quarter and really played a good defensive game, which is more important to me than, making shots and all this. We want to do that, obviously, but there's a side of the floor that's going to help us in the long run. So really, really proud of that as they continue to solidify their identity. Yeah.
What can you take from this recent run around, including tonight, that you can apply to, a tough game like Wednesday and the other tough games you guys have coming up in the season?
That defensively is where we need to continue to improve and hang our hat. And you're going to go through this league, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but the point of what we're trying to do is continue to work on us. Like, the opponent is going to be the opponent. Sometimes you're going to run into a team that is top 2 in the West, and then you'll run into somebody who's, bottom 10 in the Eastern Conference. For us at this point where we're at, it's not about the opponent. It's about how we go at the game, how we digest what we're doing, how we look at rotations, and are we doing all the things? Are we playing the right way on both ends of the court? And when I look down and see 34 assists, that makes me smile, because they know that I want them to move the basketball and share it and trust each other, that when you get off the ball, it's going to come back to you. So for me, it's more about us than it is about anything.
And all that being said, the standings are the standings, and you're getting to that point in the year when there's so many teams bunched up around that 6. Is that something that's communicated at all? Are you looking at it, or how do you sort of view?
Yeah. I don't. I kind of know because people send it, but I haven't brought that up to them, because the thing that I did say to them is how we play, how hard we play, how well we play together. The byproduct of that will take care of that. And that's the mindset that we have, is we play, we move forward, we have blinders. like, listen, if we move up in the standings, great. If we lose some, we still focus on us, and the byproduct of us focusing on us will hopefully be W's, and that's the plan.
And I know you're kind of alluding to it, but like some of the your record against teams above 500 is I think 11 and 19, 11 and 18, something like that. You guys are 10 games over against teams below 500. So I don't know, how do you improve and get to the point where that starts to level up, particularly with so many good teams coming in?
Well, it depends on how you're looking at it, as us as old us, or us as new us, or us as past trade deadline. There's a lot to your question. You can't just say so. I'm looking at this team, and that's why I put faceless opponents. Like, we're going to run into, Houston, really good ball club. We figure out how to make it happen. And if we didn't, did we play the right way? Did we play with force? Did we play with aggressiveness? Did they feel us the way that I want them to feel us? And that's the mindset. I know it sounds like whatever, but that's just how we have to address it, as we have made so many changes. There's so much going on. Guys are learning how to play together. Guys are learning nuances and tendencies and a lot of different things. And then I'm asking them to follow game plans and switch game plans from game to game, which is things that you do in the playoffs. So trying to overload them with information, but at the same time, keep it simple. So I get your question, but it's really hard to answer that how you would like.
You talk a lot about, professional basketball game, like style. And Keegan talked about when he was in here just a second ago. Could you just briefly describe what you're looking at when you talk about professional basketball?
There's a way that you approach a game, and it's kind of what I alluded to. It's about you. It's not about your opponent. So your approach, I don't put more on that. I don't put less on that. I am going to play at a professional level regardless who's across from me. I'm going to give it up. I'm going to dive on the floor. I'm doing every single thing that I can do. And listen, I've been in this league, so there's, big time, quote unquote, games and a lot of different things. But on the best team that I ever played on, we didn't look at it that way. We came in to play everybody. And then, as I said, the byproduct of that was a really good record. It was a really good run. And that's what I want them to understand. You do not look past your opponents. You do not disrespect your opponents. You come in, and really, to give your opponent the most respect is you go at them. And that's what I want them to do.
All right, some comments there from Doug Christie last night. Again, that's the kind of messaging that has been consistent with him. I mean, he's not the first coach or, the last coach to talk that way, but I think he's right. I think it wasn't about Dallas last night. It won't be about Denver tomorrow. You prep and you scheme and you try to figure out how to slow down a guy like the Joker and Murray and Gordon and all the way down the line. But what are you doing? What can you be better at? What, Kings still, if they were playing Washington or Cleveland, you got the best and worst in the East. You can't turn the ball over 20 times against either team, right? If you get it against Washington, you might have a chance to win just because of their overall talent. You do it against Cleveland, you're going to get embarrassed. So you're trying to tighten that kind of stuff up. You want to be your most efficient offense. I know Doug always talks about the offense and the ball has energy. Well, sharing the ball gets more people excited, more people involved, utilizing more of your weapons. You get 34 assists with 7 turnovers. Last night, that's a winning formula. You pair that with, commitment on the defensive end to, as he says, to have the opponent feel you, to rebound, to get on the floor for the loose ball. That's how they got to do it. This isn't the most talented team in the league, but there's talent here. I don't want to cut that short and sell what they've got short, but there are more talented teams than the Kings. So if they maximize all of that, again, that's the best group that this team can put out there on a night-to-night basis. And right now, they're on the good side of things. 4 straight wins, season best, 4 games above 500, and Denver is next. What's next for us? We'll look back at our predictions from last night. We'll recap our 3 in the key, and we got 2 questions. Who's hot? Who's not? We'll answer those next.
Wednesday night, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
T-Mobile Home Internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
Personally, there are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile Home Internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on there.
Get T-Mobile Home Internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
Christopher Verlaud, who is hot?
Zach LaVine.
I know that guy.
You sure?
Yeah.
He scored 22 points last night. He was 4 for 5 from 3. That's great. And he was named Western Conference Player of the Week.
There you go, Zach.
Those 3 games, he averaged 28 points, 5.7 rebounds, 3.0 assists. Hey, the Kings won every game.
Kings won the trade?
Oh, please.
Please. Okay. Well, that's who's hot, and we like that. Who is not?
Klay Thompson.
Oh, The guy who used to kill the Kings?
He used to kill the Kings, not last night. And he played 24 minutes, 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point land. He scored the 3 points. Also had a couple of turnovers. Also led the game in minus with minus 30.
Ooh, I didn't even see that. Minus 30. That's tough to do in 24 minutes. Get it together, Clay. His last game against the Kings last year. Was that an 0 for 10 when he was the last game as a Warrior? Wow. Woof. We had a text earlier. This was the 530. It says, I think they meant to say, has this radio station apologized for its horrendous predictions on Friday?
Someone wasn't watching yesterday.
I know. So I said, please explain. You claimed we would lose by double digits to Houston. You owe the fans an apology. Well, first off, that was Dave. Second off, he paid it off. We had a good day. That was a great result for Chris and I. We got breakfast. We watched Dave wear pants on his head. So, yeah. And Dave thought that. It's all right. He was wrong. We've all been wrong before. We'll be wrong again. And
speak for yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Chris is, I thought you were wrong once, but then I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were wrong about me being wrong.
Yeah. So I'll get Chris one time, I think. Let's check in with Jacob.
You know what? Wrong again.
You're right. Jacob, good morning. How are you?
Morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Good. Hey, just wanted to touch off what you said about Doug Christie and his time with the Kings. He's 19-10, and I did a little bit of justice, and I looked it up. So in that time, in his 29 games with the Kings, I did a lot of average stats just throughout all the NBA teams combined, and this is where the Kings rank right now in the last 29 games played. They rank 5th in points per game, 4th in rebounds per game, and 8th in assists per game. Now, those are basically the big 3 stats, and that's huge. The Kings are top 10 in all of those and top 5 in 2 of them. You think a little bit about if they could put together, a little bit more consistent three-point shooting and maybe perimeter defense, but it's clear that Doug Christie has this team on another level right now.
Yeah, and think about what he also had to go through in there. There was one, you take over for a head coach. There's a little bit of disarray in season like that. It hasn't had a training camp. 2, your star player at the time, it works. They eventually trade him so that you've got that adjustment and the new players coming in. All this hasn't been easy for anybody, but I think Doug's managed it beautifully.
Yeah. And you even think about he's 2-0 with small sample size, but without Sabonis. Yep. I mean, he's doing a good job given the adversity he's had to work through.
Absolutely. I agree. And thank you for looking up some of those numbers, Jacob. We appreciate that. Again, you said top 5 in points per game, 4th in rebounds, 8th in assists in the 29 games coached by Doug Christie.
And we remember being scared when Doug took over, not because we didn't think he could do the job,
right,
but just how difficult of a job it is for a new coach to come in after the coach has been fired. You had those numbers where, especially with the Kings, there has been absolutely zero positive impact of doing that, and he has just done a great job.
So Doug's setup, Chris, this is what he was working with. They were 13-13 when the streak started to go against the Kings. They had that heartbreaking loss to Denver. Remember the play late in the game? It's a back cut to DeRozan. He's got it, but he fumbles it. I mean, it would have, I think, been a game winner there. They lose. Okay, that's one loss. You're 13-14. You host the Lakers, you lose by 13. You host the Lakers again, you lose by 14. You have Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana coming in, and you get embarrassed 122-95. And then the backbreaker after Christmas, you're hosting Detroit, who at the time wasn't playing that well. Obviously, the Kings weren't. And you've got a 3-point lead with seconds remaining. Basically, it's in the bag. Just either foul early or don't give up a 3. Well, you gave up a 3 where Fox was late, and you fouled Jaden Ivey. So you've lost 5 in a row at the time. You take over a team. We know the controversial firing and how it all happened, and Doug gets thrown in the mix, and you have to go face the Lakers again, and you lose that game. So Doug's 0-1. They're 6 games below 500, and then he just starts the climb. I mean, from that point on, I guess you count that game, Doug's 19-9, even better. So it's impressive. And then to go through the trade and that little in-between time where things were just really weird and odd, he's had to do a lot here. He really has.
You're talking about bad losses. Have you happened to see what happened to the Grizzlies?
Oh, yeah. The finish of that?
The last 3 games they've lost to game winners. That's crazy.
And the game before, so I think it's been a 4-game homestand so far. They stole the game against Phoenix. They should have lost that, but they won. Then they lost by, was it 1 to
the Knicks?
The Knicks. And then they had the heartbreaking loss to
the Spurs.
Oh, yeah. The Spurs. Fox got them on a game winner. And then last night, basically, they have control with the last possession. And then Dyson Daniels steals it, throws it ahead. Karis LeVert, game winner at the buzzer. Yeah, that's been brutal for them. Now, at least they've got all that equity. They're still up near the top of the West. But, yeah, tough couple of games there. All right, let's see how
Imagine being a season ticket holder.
Look at you laughing at them. All right, let's take a look back at last night's predictions here. Let's revisit 3 in the Key. All right, Dave was here for this yesterday. So Dave, me, and Chris made predictions. I asked all 3 of us, Chris, for the first Kings bucket or points and the last Kings points. Dave said it would be DeRozan and DeRozan. I said it would be LaVine and DeRozan. You said it would be Keegan and DeRozan. So the first points, Keegan. Good job, Chris. The last points, our guy Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones was the one to get the last points for the Kings last night.
Who was it?
Isaac Jones off the bench. All right, next category. We asked for the largest lead by Dallas and by Sacramento. Dave said 8 for Dallas, 14 for the Kings. I said 7 for Dallas, 13 for the Kings. Chris, you said 6 for Dallas, 15 for the Kings. Largest lead for Dallas was 0. Nothing. Wire-to-wire win for the Kings. Largest lead for the Kings, 32.
Oh,
we were a bit off on all of our predictions there. But maybe we get it right with the random pick, the stat that we just kind of went off the board and predicted. Dave said Jonas Valanciunas would have a double-double. He had 14 points and 9 rebounds. So close. I said Jonas Valanciunas and Keegan Murray would have double-doubles. Well, Valanciunas, as you know, 14 and 9. Keegan, 18 and 5. Not as close. Chris, you said DeMar DeRozan would have 25 or more points. He had 20. He would have had 25, but
definitely.
It was just a blowout.
You know what? Doug Christie isn't doing a good job.
I blame Doug. I'm with you. And I knew, you would say that to him. And he would say something very choice back to you as well.
It'd probably be shut up with other words.
Did you love that the other day that when he was on with the Drive guys and I think, was it Whitey that asked him like who would be of the other staff members here, who would be, the best coach? Where he's like, definitely not Chris.
Yeah, if Doug is coaching the team next year, he needs to let me get some time with the guys. I could show him how good of a coach I could be.
Odds that Doug lets you have the few minutes with the
guys.
I
will say it won't be 0%.
It's not higher than 5, though.
I'd say there is a chance.
What if he's like, guys, special guest speaker today. Please welcome in Christopher Laud, and then you get your moment with the team.
Oh, I will say the team will have the greatest triple threat positioning in the NBA.
Any wrestling references or anything to get them fired up?
I think I got to just be in the moment.
Whatever happens, whatever you channel, you'll bring to the guys. All right, we got one final hour ahead. Lots to get to in this hour, including we'll look at the standings, a little detailed watch at the standings. We'll have what to watch. We'll have crosstalk with Alan Stiles and celebrity birthdays as well. We just talked about, the Kings here lately as far as points per game, assists per game, rebounds per game. But is the defense really better? We'll go through some of the numbers because it's been good lately. We'll talk about that when we come back on Sacktown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One ticket, two huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too. Two shows, one massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show, plus the Big RV Show, March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary, not guaranteed.
There's a reason why more and more people are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. And it's not just because they're centrally located next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course. It's because they make the car buying experience different than anywhere else. Yeah, of course they can get you a great price. That's the easy part. Where their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team really make a difference is they don't believe you should have to sacrifice great customer service to get a great deal. Stomp on in today and see for yourself. That's Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something.
There's nothing quite as serene and beautiful as our Sacramento rivers. It's something we can all take pride in. But just one piece of litter can ruin the picture. I'm Alan Stiles from Sacktown Sports. Let's work together to keep our community beautiful and make Sacramento litter-free. Clean rivers don't just mean beauty. They mean healthy fish, safe swimming, and a vibrant ecosystem. So remember, be river-friendly. Every little action makes a huge impact. Visit BeRiverFriendly.net now to be a part of the difference.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Rejected down inside, grabbed by Monk, feeds Valanciunas, quickly ahead to DeRozan. Into the front court now, surveying the floor, throws a bullet to an uncovered Malik for three, and he drains the three on the left wing. 68-54, that's the biggest lead of the night for Sacramento.
Yeah, and that play, the defense set up the offense, and Sacramento's defense lately has been much, much better. And how real is it? Well, we'll discuss that here coming up as we welcome into the final hour of the show. Carmichael Day back with us tomorrow. Jason Ross, Christopher Ladd, Alan Stiles steps in here in the last part of this hour. A little crosstalk and celebrity birthdays coming your way before we get to the Alan Stiles show. So here we are. The Kings in the middle of a 4-game winning streak. And prior to that, they got embarrassed at home to the Golden State Warriors. But since then, here's what the Kings have done defensively. They held Charlotte to a season low and a Kings opponent low, 88 points. 101 to Utah. 103 to a completely healthy Houston team on the road. And then last night, 98 to Dallas. Now, to poke holes in this, I would say Charlotte's not very good, and they were a little depleted. Utah was definitely depleted, not a very good team. Certainly Dallas depleted last night and lost Kyrie during the game, and if you've missed it, it is officially as a torn ACL. Just awful news there for him and for the Mavs. But Houston, fully healthy and hungry and should have wanted to beat the Kings, scored 103. So what do we make of this? Well, looking at some of the numbers, the Kings are now 11-0 this season when they hold an opponent under 101 points. We know their offense is their strength. Their defense still isn't, this juggernaut of a defense. But 101 points or less, this team is going to win. At least that's what the track record has been. They are 11-0 when they do that. Now, 8 of those games, though, 8 of the 11 have come under Doug Christie, who, remember, has coached 29 games. Mike Brown coached 31. So 8 of the 11 happened under Doug Christie. More of them have happened here recently. So there's something this team certainly is doing defensively. And I think when you're trying to break that down on what's better, I think first and foremost, I'm looking at one player. Doug Christie is playing Keon Ellis more than Mike Brown did. I think when we look back at Mike Brown's tenure, obviously he was a very successful coach here, won a Coach of the Year award, had a positive record next to Rick Adelman. I mean, look, he's been one of the best Kings coaches we've seen here. The history's not great in the 40 years, by the way, but Rick Adelman, a tier all of its own, ironically coached Doug Christie, and I think Doug Christie knows a lot of the stuff, takes a lot of the stuff from Adelman, from Coachy, from the people that inspired him. But Mike Brown was right there as far as what his success rate was as a King head coach. So that's the one thing I would question Mike about, like, just what was it about Keon that you thought shouldn't be on the floor? Now, we know there's Fox and Herter and Monk at the time, but it just felt like Keon belonged on the floor. And now he's playing more, and I think that's the one thing. And then the second part is the roster construction is better. It just is. I mean, I think you can get production from LaRavia and certainly Valanciunas off the bench. You still count on Trey Lyles. I like what Markelle Fultz has even done in his limited amount of time here. So the roster construction's a little bit better. When you look at points allowed per game, the Kings now, after last night's performance, sit 19th. It's not anything to go, wow, the Kings have this amazing defense, but 19th to go with an offense that, can score it, right? This offense can do some damage. If you look at the top of the defensive chain as far as fewest points allowed per game, it doesn't always equate like that's the best team in the league. Orlando is under 500, and they're the leader in fewest points allowed. But then after that, it's OKC, Boston, Clippers, Minnesota, Houston, all pretty good teams. The Kings are 19th, as I said. The best teams below Sacramento, as far as points allowed, Indiana, Denver, Memphis. That's about the rest of the list. Most everyone else is going to be a lottery team. So the Kings want to continue to move up that list. They're going to have to do some work here because now the next tier is a little bit of separation. But is this team, do you believe that they're better defensively? I'm encouraged by the numbers. I think there's also just been some real clunkers in there, and part of that I'm trying to sort out. I mean, I was really disappointed, to be honest, on the Warrior game. The Kings had practice time. They were rested. There was a rival. I really had higher hopes for them against the Warriors, and then they got embarrassed. So that's the most recent loss. Since then, they've taken care of business. They've done a great job, and the defense looks better. Looks like they're more communication, like they're more on a string, as people would say. That's been good. The math would suggest it, but you want to see them do it now. I mean, in the next couple of games, if you look at the rest of the week, Denver, San Antonio, and the Clippers. And even if there's a game where you give up 125, okay, can you bounce back and give up 110 the next game, 106? I mean, again, the more they live in those low 100s, this offense is pretty darn good and consistent. Like last night, they even called off the jam and got 122. So I think when you're looking at the current makeup of this roster, you play Keon Moore. You've got a two-way player in Keegan. Valanciunas is giving you more toughness, rim protection, size. I don't feel like the Kings are as small as they were before. And a lot of times they did play small lineups. I think not playing Trey at the 5 consistently helps. I mean, if he's more of the 4 and you're playing him with Valanciunas or Sabonis, that's effective and more productive. So I think between roster tweaks, as far as who they've added to the team, rotational tweaks, and playing Keon Ellis more, we've seen improvement on the defensive end. And for long-term success, that's paramount. It's got to happen. Doug would say non-negotiable. His expectation is to see this team compete, have the opponents feel you, his terminology, and that's it. That's their path to success. The balanced offense, the 9 to 10 guys contributing in their roles, and make it difficult enough defensively not to get embarrassed. I think we've seen fewer and fewer games where the Kings have been getting crushed beyond the arc, right? That's an improvement. That was the thing at the beginning of the year, probably the first 20 games, the inability to make threes and the inability to stop them. Well, last night they won the 3-point shooting 16-7. That's a big win. 9 more threes, 27 more points. And look, they won by 24. So 3-point margin and discrepancy has been big for this team. The more they can defend that effectively, protect the paint enough, eliminate, straight line drives. I think that's what all you about can ask for from this team. They'll get deflections. They'll get some steals, a few blocks here and there. They're not a great shot blocking team. Limit the fouls and rely on your offense. And that's the map. That's how they do it. That's how they are going to win games going forward against teams that are better than them, as good as them, or worse than them. I feel like that is the Kings' blueprint. Limit turnovers, make timely shots, balanced offensive attack, sharing the ball, and then do your best defensively and play physically, which I think they've done. I said this yesterday when they played Houston over the weekend. Houston's at very much of a get under your skin. We're going to push you around. We'll try to bully you. The Kings don't ever or rarely, strike first in that, but they didn't back down from Houston. And I think that's important. Dallas didn't feel as intense and physically chippy as the Houston game, but that's kind of back to my point where the Kings aren't really the first ones to do that. But if you go at them, they're not going to back down from you, and I like that. So that's it. That's how this team can do it. And again, I think the defense is better. Some of the numbers suggest it, but now you need to, like we said, with everything else they're doing, consistently more over time than validates all of these kind of projections and thoughts of what they're doing. All right, still to come, the standings. The Kings did some work last night with their win, where they are now, where they could be after the end of the night. Standings watch and kind of who has some favorable schedules going forward. We'll look at that when we return right here on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
They say that variety is the spice of life, and it's that spicy little variety that's key to keeping your workout routine from feeling routine. At In Shape Fitness, we have everything you need to mix up your workouts, from studio classes to our turf and functional areas, with more than enough ways to keep things interesting. So drop the kids off at In Shape's Kids Zone, grab a workout buddy, and hit the floor, hop on a bike, or lift the weights. Just not all at the same time. We are in shape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
All right, time to take a closer look at the standings from last night and Standings Watch.
Standings Watch.
And there was some impact around the league last night. Let's give you a couple of highlights, too. Let's start with a game near the top of the Western Conference standings, at least with one of the teams, the Memphis Grizzlies. Chris just mentioned this in the last break, but Memphis at home, it's been an amazing homestand as far as heartbreak goes, but they were taking on Atlanta, and in the end of the game, this is what happened.
8 seconds, 7. Desmond Bain barrels in. Stolen by Daniels. Ahead to LeVert. Karras goes up. Scores! At the buzzer. It's all over. Karras LeVert wins it for the Hawks.
Just a gut punch to the Memphis fan base as Memphis loses their third straight. Atlanta steal in the backcourt, or in Memphis's backcourt, the front court, I should say. And Atlanta then had to go the other end, lays it in, LeVert for the game winner. So you had that happen last night. Also last night, the best team in the West, OKC, had another big game from SGA.
Rebound, Reed Shepherd throws it away. Dort tips it. Wallace has it. Feeds Shea inside for the dunk. Oh, that was spectacular.
Was Matt Pinto there on the OKC Thunder Radio Network. SGA, 50 points, 51, I think, in the 50th win for the Thunder. And the Warriors, Kings were hoping to get some help from the Warriors in Charlotte. It was a close game for a while, but in the end, it was a nice, easy win for the Dubs.
Second free throw missed. Rebound, Jackson Davis. Knox will dribble it out. Final score from Charlotte. The Warriors get the win 119-101.
All right, so let's do that standings watch. The latest there. OKC remains number one in the Western Conference. 50 wins on the season. What a year for them, 50-11. And they've got the separation. They've got the clearance. And when you do that, you can dictate the terms of how you want to approach the rest of the season. If they want to start sitting guys periodically just to give them some rest for what they hope to be a long playoff run, you can do it, because the two teams closest to them, the Lakers and the Nuggets, who both did not play last night. The Lakers 11 games back after winning the last 6. They're 38-21. Denver 39-22 by percentage points. The Lakers have the lead there, but they're both 11 back of the Thunder. Then in the fourth spot, in still a playoff spot, the Memphis Grizzlies 38-23, though they have lost 3 straight. They were at one point number 2. So they're currently in fourth. Jaren Jackson Jr. got hurt in that game last night, and John Morant was out, so that's something to watch for them as well. Houston lost their second straight after the Kings beat them, and then OKC beat them last night, so they're 37-24. They're 2 back of LA and Denver, 13 back overall of OKC. So you got the Lakers, Nuggets, Grizzlies, and Rockets, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all separated by 2 games. And then you've got the mess. Warriors in 6th now. So they've moved from, remember when they were playing the Kings the other day, it was 10 versus 9. Warriors won the game. They've gone past the Kings, gone past the Mavs, the T-Wolves, and now the Clippers to move into 6. So if the playoffs started today, Denver would host the Warriors in the 3-6 matchup. Memphis and Houston would be in the 4-5. The play-in would be the Clippers hosting the Kings in the 7-8 game. The T-Wolves hosting the Mavs in the 9-10 game. The loser of the Kings Clippers, or the winner goes in as the 7th seed. The loser would host the winner of the T-Wolves Mavs game. So that's what it looks like, but it is very, very congested. The Warriors are 17 games back, half game back of them, both the Clippers and Kings and T-Wolves, Kings and Clippers in a virtual tie, percentage points, 0.01 ahead of the T-Wolves. And then you got Dallas currently in 10th, in the news from Dallas. Once again, from Shams reporting today, Kyrie Irving, torn ACL. Just brutal. Absolutely brutal. His season is over. Now, behind them, there's still teams with a chance. Now, certainly the Phoenix Suns, Portland Trail Blazers, maybe even the Spurs are thinking, wait, Dallas doesn't have Luka anymore. They don't have AD, Gafford, Lively, Washington. They were all out against Sacramento last night. And now they know for sure that Kyrie Irving will not return. What will Dallas's finish look like? Well, that remains to be seen. But if you're Phoenix, who begins the day 3.5 back of Dallas, but 5 games under 500, they got to get cooking. And then Portland has really been the team that's come out of nowhere. They're just a half game back of Phoenix. So that's the way the standings look. And so now on a night-to-night basis, really from here on out, Kings have played 60 games. They're going to be looking at what every team is doing, but they still control their own destiny. Now, just on schedule, this is not the right way to do things, not the fair way to do things, because if we just take the Kings, for example, we were calling this the March Gauntlet. They have 17 games in the month of March. 12 of the 17 are against teams above 500. So that feels like doom and gloom. Well, the Kings have already knocked off 2 of those, and they've won them both. Dallas was above 500. Houston was way above 500. The remaining schedule, strength of schedule, as we speak right now, Phoenix has the most difficult schedule remaining in the league. The second most difficult schedule belongs to Sacramento. The third most is Portland. So Portland and Phoenix are trying to catch maybe Dallas or whoever else, the Kings. They have the first and third most difficult schedules. It makes sense for the West to have more teams in here with the most difficult schedules. Then it's Lakers and Denver round out the top 5. If we go to the other end of this, the easiest schedule remaining is Toronto, but the second easiest, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the team the Kings just leapfrogged over last night. So Minnesota, just for perspective, is playing teams with the 20 games they have left at a winning percentage of 43.5. That's the overall. The Kings, with 22 games left, have a opponent winning percentage of 55.3. So much, much better, or more difficult, I should say, for the Sacramento Kings. And I know we all can do this, but it doesn't matter now. I know the Kings can look back and go, oh, what if? Well, you don't want to have to do that anymore. You want to just they're at their peak point now, 4 games above 500. If you could somehow the rest of this week still win 2 more games, 2 of the 3, you play Denver on the road tomorrow, host the Spurs, and really the game to me that's the most important the rest of this week is the Clipper game. Because the Clippers have beaten you twice. You're, as we said right now, in a virtual tie with them. And so you got to start picking up games on them. And so at 32-28, both the Clippers and Kings, that game on Sunday feels very, very important. That's the front end of a back-to-back. I think they host the Knicks the next night. So a lot of games are coming up this month. There's not a lot of time off. And so it's not a good time for Sabonis to get hurt, but you got Valanciunas now, and you're just trying to do your best to navigate your way through this pretty tough stretch that the Kings have right here. So fun to watch them go through this, fun to watch them play at a better rate. And I'm going to go back to something Mike Brown said. I know Doug Christie has said before. Like, one of the things Doug used to say when I worked with him in the afternoon, they would pick as players. This is when he was playing for the Kings. They would pick some targets. And let's say, like right now, the Kings at 32-28. This would be very impressive if they could do it. But you go, let's win 40 before we lose 30. So that's going, 8 wins before you lose twice, 8 more, and you've already won 4 straight. That one might be more difficult to do. But that's kind of the benchmarks they would try to do. Mike Brown would take the season in 5-game chunks. And I said it before, if you go 3-2 in all your 5-game chunks, then you're at the high 40s in wins, and you're going to be in the postseason. I think the Kings' odds of being in the top 10 are really, really good. It's just the shuffling of this based on now injuries across the league, Kings included. I mean, losing Sabonis is a big deal. But who else gets hurt? Who else reaches their peak? Who else gets players back? These are all factors in the remaining parts of the season. So I like the position the Kings are in. We know it could be better, but barely ahead of Minnesota. And as I told you, they have the 29th easiest schedule. So, I mean, they're the second easiest in the league. That's something to watch. Dallas, who's behind them with the devastating injury now to Kyrie Irving, out for the season. And the Clippers are still intriguing to me. I look at the Clippers who the Kings are going to face on Sunday, and I liked their additions that they made at the deadline. And so far, it just hasn't quite come to fruition. I mean, they added Patty Mills, Ben Simmons, Bogey to go with Harden, Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, Zubats, some of the other guys they play, Batum, Eubanks, Derek Jones. Like, it feels like they've got a lot of depth, and just maybe they haven't. And we mentioned earlier they're top 5 defense, but maybe it just hasn't quite had their time to gel. But as we said again, tonight, the Kings have an opportunity to gain more ground. We'll kind of talk about that coming up in what to watch, because there are some games that Kings fans are going to want to follow tonight. It's a pretty good schedule night around the NBA. We'll tell you what games you're going to want to follow for your Sacramento Kings, and still to come as well. We'll have crosstalk with Alan Stiles and celebrity birthdays. All right, we've got more to come. That's straight ahead right here on your home of the Kings, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
As we all continue to hear scary ads about the IRS, Tax Relief Advocates is leading the way, showing U.S. taxpayers why they don't need to be afraid of the IRS. Whether you owe the IRS $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, TRA has a solution. With major tax relief initiatives currently in effect, we could reduce or even eliminate what you owe to the IRS, business or personal. Our experts know how to resolve tax problems and end all collections. TRA is America's highly rated tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star Google reviews. Don't wait. You may qualify for a significant tax debt reduction that can give you a fresh start, but you must call. For a free consultation and to check what tax relief you qualify for, visit TRA.com or call our relief hotline at 800-335-8578. 800-335-8578. Again, that's 800-335-8578. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings. Or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleyststrong.com.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
The final 7 seconds ticking away. For the 4th time this year, the Kings in wire-to-wire fashion have gotten a victory on a night where the opponent never had the lead. The Kings led this one by as many as 32. They improved their record to 32-28. They gain a game on Dallas. So Sacramento will be in that number 9 spot and still close quarters in the scramble for playoff and play-in opportunities in the Western Conference. Final score in this one is 122-98.
Yeah, the Kings now in the 8th spot after their performance last night. Another season sweep. That's 3 in a row, as we mentioned earlier. They swept the Jazz. They swept the Rockets. They swept the Mavericks. Man, that's 10 of their wins this year against those 3 teams. It's just weird sometimes how that happens. They haven't beaten L.A., right? 0-2 against the Clippers, 0-4 against the Lakers. Kings off tonight, so there'll be other things to watch this evening. Chris, do you have a movie suggestion? Anything on tap for you tonight? You're kind of our resident movie guy.
Movie that has come out?
I don't know, something that you'd say, you know what, you should watch this tonight, because I think you're going to tell me like a horror movie, but that I would prefer it not being. But something you're like, hey, maybe you haven't seen this, you should watch this.
I don't know, you're really catching me out of the...
I am.
I can't think of anything that's really good that's come out lately.
And you don't really watch like TV series or streaming, or are you on?
I'm rewatching Last Man on Earth.
Rewatching it. Okay.
Yeah.
How many seasons did that have? 2 or 3?
Oh no, I think it had like 5 or 6.
No.
Yeah.
It was on Fox that long?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Do yourself a favor.
Who else is in it? I know he's the only person for a while, right?
Gosh, it's got like a bunch of like
bit character role.
Yeah,
role
like
actors.
Steenberg. Trying to think of her name.
Okay. You
I'm bad at names.
You are anything Will Forte does, you're going to see.
Yes. I'm not going to see that Netflix movie.
What's that one?
The one with Amy Schumer, where she's pretending to be pregnant.
Yeah. I saw that he was in it. Is he her significant other, or he's trying to date her? And
I
she's
think they're
trying to
dating or something like that.
Away. Yeah. Are you not a fan of hers?
No.
Yeah.
Trainwreck
was okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I was looking for Last Man on Earth.
Yes.
Because the people that are in it.
I will.
Yes.
I guess I should look it up.
Kristen Shaw, she's a comedian. She's
Okay.
in a bunch of stuff. You would know her if you recognized her. January Jones.
Oh yeah, I know her.
Who is the other one? Mary Steenburgen. That's who Steenburgen.
Steenburgen?
Yes.
Yes. From Parenthood?
From Back to the Future 3.
Oh. Okay. I'm not Parenthood.
You should see a few episodes. I think you would enjoy it.
Okay.
And then the other thing that they would do is that they would end up like finding other people on Earth alive, and it'd be like this huge star, like, whoa, this person's in it, and then they die immediately.
And it being Will Forte, I mean, Fox gets a little bit edgy, but not too. I mean, because it's over the air TV, right?
There are some things it's like, I can't believe this is on TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, do yourself a favor, and if you got Peacock, watch the MacGruber series.
I still didn't do that. Now I'm with you. I liked MacGruber. I think it's funny.
It was one of those like, because like with stuff like that, and like you can only ruin it by going further into it.
Right.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So that is something to check out tonight. Also, what to watch tonight, you have got plenty of NBA action besides the Sacramento Kings. We mentioned this earlier before, but if you're wondering what you should be watching and kind of keeping your focus on and rooting for, the Warriors are at the Knicks, and based on our standings watch, we just told you a Warrior loss would help out Sacramento. You've got the Sixers at the T-Wolves. I'm not counting on that one being a loss for the T-Wolves, but if it is, that would help. And then the last piece of the puzzle, the Clippers at the Suns. I mean, that's a win-win proposition for the Kings. Another loss for the Suns isn't damaging, but if the Suns were to beat the Clippers and those other two teams lose, that's when you'll find your Kings in sixth place. Also tonight, you got the Rockets at the Pacers. And let's see what else to check out tonight. The Nets at the Spurs. Do the Spurs play again before they come here? That's what I want to see, because obviously the big game is Friday for the Spurs and De'Aaron Fox's return. They might have a back-to-back. Nope, they play tonight, and then they come to Sacramento. So the other night, March 2nd, was actually De'Aaron Fox's first home game as a Spur. They played a couple games in Austin, Texas, and then they had all road games. So De'Aaron finally got to play a home game. They lost to the Thunder. They'll have another home game tonight against Brooklyn, and then he'll be here on Friday. And then the other game to check out, the Pelicans at the Lakers. So the Lakers have been rolling. New Orleans, I'm going to, they're well out of the picture, but I still think that's a team that could be like this year's Memphis Grizzlies, because Memphis was really good 2 years ago. They were a 2 seed ahead of the Kings, had injuries last year, and then this year they're right back up there because they got their guys back. I think if New Orleans gets healthy and kind of lets Zion loose, that's a team to worry about certainly next year in the top 10 in the West. So there you go. That's some things to watch. I also, Chris, when I was walking down the hall, I saw you moments ago too. I heard the thing you never want to hear. I heard it in one of the offices down there. It's like, oh, stock market's having a terrible day. Don't look at your 401k. And I'm like, I wanted to look at my 401k.
Don't tell me that if you don't want me to look at my 401k. I know,
but I do that, right? Why do we do that? It's the very thing. I would say I do this 100% of the time.
To be fair, you're closer to getting to your 401k than I am.
To be fair.
But
if we're at a restaurant, and usually it would be probably a Mexican food restaurant, but they'll go, careful.
The plate's hot.
The plate is hot. I touch it. I touch the plate.
My mom still talks about this to this day, because she did the same thing when we're having dinner when we were a kid. said, don't touch a plate because it's hot. And for some reason, I thought, like, if I touch it with my chin a little bit,
it's not going to be
it
as
won't
hot
burn as much. And it burned the crap out of my chin. And I had this huge burn mark on my chin.
What was her reaction to that?
Like,
what is wrong?
What did I tell you?
Yeah. And then it's usually, oh, wow, that plate is hot. Yeah, they said it. And that's why they're wearing like oven mitts. But you just, even if it's just to move the plate, like they put it in a spot where I feel like I needed it like a half centimeter to the left. I don't know why we do that, but it's a lot of creatures of habit that we are like, hey, stock market's taking a dump. Whatever you do, don't look at your 401k. Well, I better see. Maybe mine's different. I don't even know if that's really factual.
My 401k has been awful, so maybe this is good news for me.
I heard. I just heard that. I did not look at it, but I remember that time I looked at it. I kind of want to do it again. So there you go. That's the reality of the situation. That's what we are. We're weird like that. We tend to do things like that, or at least I'm weird like that. So yeah, tonight. You know what? I didn't. You don't watch. You watch horror movies, but you don't watch a lot of true crime or like.
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You watch Datelines and 2020s and those
Sometimes.
things. Okay.
I always watching the documentary.
Okay, like a real, like the real Night Stalker.
Oh yeah.
Richard Ramirez.
He can't hurt you anymore.
Oh, he hurt me, Chris. The scars run.
Dad,
deep.
we got to paint the house.
It made sense. Single story, yellow houses near the freeway on LA. I'm sure I was next. But look, I slept with that Louisville Slugger. I was ready to swing away.
I still sleep with the Louisville Slugger.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to swing righty or lefty?
No, you got to go like this and backhand.
Oh, so it's a swing through right and then back through with the left.
Backhand, yeah.
It wouldn't be like a jab with the barrel, like the point of the bat.
No, you need space.
You need space. So you've got the bat near the bed, so you're gonna have time to grab it and swing away.
Yeah.
Okay. Note to self: don't intrude on Christopher Laud. All right, when we come back,
I've got a friend that sleeps with a knife. I'm like, what? That sounds way worse.
Where, like just by the bedstand?
Yeah.
Because then they got to get close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bat gives you some distance, like you said.
And then you're fast asleep. Yoink.
Wood bat, aluminum bat?
Aluminum.
Okay. So you can hear the ping. So you know you made contact. All right, we'll take the break, come back. Final segment. Alan Stiles in studio. A little crosstalk, see what's coming up on his show. And we'll see how Chris and Alan, how they do on today's birthdays with Celebrity Birthdays, brought to you by Crumble Cookies. That is next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you. Full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
On Wednesday, March 5th, Sacramento is where the best wrestle as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite and Collision. Two of professional wrestling's biggest shows all in one night. Be there live as AEW returns to Sacramento for the first time in 2 years for the final two shows before AEW Revolution.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite and Collision from from Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. Wednesday, March 5th. Tickets on sale now starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, and the total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
One ticket, 2 huge shows.
The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too.
2 shows.
One massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show, plus the Big RV Show.
March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo.
Find discounts at
2hugeshows.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
That's right. Dave is back with us tomorrow. Jason Ross, Chris Laud, and who is this in here? Identify yourself.
Who is this, you ask?
Yes.
The prognosticator, the indicator, the instigator, Alan Stiles. 3-0, Jason.
Looking good. Yeah, you said you called a 3-1 trip or better. Yeah. It's in the bag. You got it.
I got it. And now the only question is how much chest meat is allowed on the YouTube. You know what I mean?
How much you got?
I got a decent bit.
I
can go a button lower.
Yeah.
Call HR.
Maybe per hour, like a little tease. Like hour 1, you start here. Hour 2, it's a little bit more. And by the end, and you got a big guest today too.
Big guest, Daniel Garcia of AEW, the star, and maybe we'll get him to do his famous dance right here in the studio. That's coming up at 12. It's gonna be great.
Studio?
That's right.
Oh yeah, you gotta go.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta go another.
And I gotta get another chain somewhere.
Yes.
I don't know where.
Is that your Mardi Gras chain?
That's
you got
right.
Some beads?
I gotta go to Arden Mall to get another chain before
I know what it takes
Daniel
to
Garcia.
get those beads.
Well, we're not going to talk about that.
Good for you. What else is on the show today? Lots of Kings, huh?
Lots of Kings, the return of Keegan Murray. And look, Kyle and I keep going back and forth on how high some are, some aren't on the Nuggets. But I think the Kings might have an opportunity to do something that not even I saw coming, and that's go 4-0. We'll see.
Not even I saw it coming.
That's right.
So what are the odds of this happening tonight? Warriors losing to the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could happen.
Well, Steph is limping. Steph tweaked his ankle, and I saw a video. Sources saw a video. His pant leg on the ankle was pulled up, and he was limping.
Okay,
I think
something to watch.
If you're the Warriors, it is a back-to-back. I know Steph always balls out in Madison Square Garden, but if you're the Warriors,
game's not that.
It's not that important.
Yeah.
So I think there is at least a decent chance he doesn't play tonight.
Okay, then you got the T-Wolves hosting the Sixers. I think Minnesota will win, but
Sixers just beat the Warriors.
They did. And then the last one is kind of either way the Kings win, but the Suns and the Clippers, I wouldn't mind the Suns getting another loss, but if the Suns beat the Clippers and the other two things happen, Kings will be 6.
I'm to the point with the Suns where they can win tonight. They're not doing anything, and obviously we're thinking good thoughts for Kyrie because at this point the Mavericks have essentially left the chat. So now it's a 3. Don't be just like, who was it, Kyle Kuzma said, don't be that team that is the 9 seed. Right? I mean, because if the Warriors, either way, the Clippers are going to be in this conversation now. So it's the Clippers, the Warriors, the T-Wolves, and the Kings. Yeah. So from 6 to 9. So just don't be 9, and you got 2 chances, 1 at home. Yeah. Either 1 at home, possibly 2 at home to get into the playoffs.
If the Kings could somehow get in, who would you like to see them play? It's always careful what you wish for, but who do you think you go, you know what, I think they could maybe get through that round?
I mean, obviously the Rockets, but I don't think they'll see the Rockets. I wouldn't mind the Grizzlies just because I'm just not huge on the Grizzlies, and I think they kind of lack identity right now. Every time I look up, Jason, look, people keep on, they joke Anthony Davis because it's been going on for years, but we joke on the show, there are certain players you just don't know when they're playing. I don't know when Ja Morant is playing.
You're right.
I looked down, what was it, this weekend? He was in street clothes again. Yeah. I don't know why.
He missed last night, and then
he didn't play last night either?
Jaren Jackson got hurt too in the game.
I saw that. But yeah, he landed on his back. So I think I was never high on the Grizzlies. A lot of people were. And when your star can't really shoot, I'm always going to think that you have a chance.
Yeah. I was thinking this for us and the fan base, if there was a 7-8 Kings Warriors, let's say 7 the Kings. So you had that here and the Kings got through it.
Yeah.
And then you got the Lakers. Like just that alone would be bonanza, but you obviously would want to beat the Lakers too.
I wouldn't want that.
You wouldn't want
no.
Too much?
Too much. Come on. LeBron and Luka, and let's not mention, you got to deal with on the court, and you got to deal with the politics of getting the Lakers in. I don't want to deal with it.
You think it would be 8-on-5?
I know it would be. So I don't want to see it.
All right, avoid that
Memphis, Adam Silver don't want neither of us to win. So he really
that game's going to be an NBA TV on 2 in the morning.
Exactly.
Exactly. You get the Lakers, every single one would be prime time. Every single one.
And they'll talk about the history, but leave out the stuff.
Yeah.
The
important stuff.
No, thank you.
All right. So that's coming up today. A lot of Kings and your special guests in studio. That's fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I was doing a lot of research on them and really excited. 26-year-old stud muffin who is taking the wrestling world by storm, Daniel Garcia.
TNT
champion, ESPN top 30 wrestler under 30.
Are you going to introduce yourself as the Hit Doctor?
Probably not.
Okay.
I only flex my athletic prowess against those that I've made it further than.
Probably wouldn't tell someone that in combat sports that you're a hit doctor.
Yeah, we could go viral. I could have them punch me.
You could.
We have had a wrestler put a host in a submission move.
I was here in the move
in that studio.
Yeah, and I was not the host.
Maybe I'll just arm wrestle him.
Okay.
What's the problem?
Nothing. You tell me.
My left versus his left, assuming he's right-handed.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make it a little more even.
You like your odds?
I like my arms.
That's why I said it. All right, let's do it. Let's get some predictions on our celebrity birthdays today, as birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together quite like crumble cookies. Happy birthday to Draymond Green.
I mean, he's got the Grays going. The Grays are going, but
Draymond Green?
He's a little younger than Steph and LeBron, even though he wishes he was the same age as LeBron and they had the same birthday. Is he 35? He's either 34 or 35. He's got to be 35.
34. 36.
No.
We have a correct answer, and it goes to Alan Stiles, 35.
There you go.
He knows his Warriors.
Excuse me?
Happy birthday to Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver George Pickens.
Now that guy.
Here's a guy.
Now here's a head case. Baseball player is always older than you think. Wide receiver is always younger than you think. George Pickens is either 24 or 25. I'll probably be wrong, but I'm going to say 25.
26. And Ice, also, you shouldn't be a person named George in your 20s.
George.
Well, because he's 31. No, your first instinct was right, but you still win. You were closer. 24 for George Pickens. Happy birthday to... everybody loves Raymond's wife, Patricia Heaton.
Chris, you want to go
Great
first?
Birthday selections today.
Yeah.
Beginning.
64.
66.
Alan's close to 67.
Really? Oh, my God.
Happy birthday to the mom on Home Alone, Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, hey.
Don't sleep.
Also Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And Beetlejuice.
And lots of things. Schitt's Creek. Excuse me.
Catherine O'Hara is 74.
Kevin!
Jason, are you familiar with the Hear Me Out meme?
Probably, but I'm not.
We'll talk about it off.
Okay.
What did you say, Chris?
74.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
76.
Chris is closer, 71. Happy birthday to former NBA player and mayor of this city, Kevin Johnson. KJ.
Thought Kevin John. I said, wait, where did he?
He hooped in the NBA.
He was the mayor?
And was the mayor.
Chris?
He is 57.
60 on the nose.
Alan's closer, 59 today. Happy birthday to Matisse Thybulle.
Here's another one.
Yep, another one.
I feel like he's older than we think. And I also haven't seen him play in about 3 years. I think he's 30.
28.
Chris, spot on, 28. Happy birthday to Here's a Drive, Nick Castellanos.
I have no clue. But baseball player is always older than you think.
I've heard that before.
Wide receiver is always younger than you think.
Yeah. 33 seems old. I'm going to say 32.
34.
Ty, 33. Your first Happy birthday to Sergio Romo. Here's a curveball.
Yeah, now here's
a hanging curveball.
Here's a frisbee slider.
Yeah.
He played for a while. He might be 38.
I believe he's from Brawley, California.
Yeah, he's been to a lot of Kings games.
My grandpa's from.
Okay.
He is 41.
Chris is closer, 42. And last, Woj bomb, Adrian Wojnarowski.
Are you buying any of that? How stupid was that?
What?
The phone and ridiculous.
I purchased all of them.
Yeah. I'm going to say Woj.
Insiders are usually older than you think.
He wanted to get out of the game, right? So that means he's what? I have 61?
57.
Chris is closest, 56.
Yeah. Once he retires, you just don't know.
Yeah. All right, that's it for us. Thank you to Chris. I'm Jason. Alan Styles, big show.